We are live.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. We are live back on air. I am Zach.
I am Jake.
I am Mr. Google.
As you can tell, Carl is not here. We will miss him today, but you know what? Mr. Google's here. We always love having Mr. Google, especially with his input. Much input, but some input, right?
There you go. A little more than Jake.
Hey, last couple of weeks, he's been a little bit more talkative
Yeah. Thank you.
because we told him he had to be or he's out. I don't know who we're going to replace you with, but we'll find somebody.
Yes, they're silently holding a knife to my left skin.
Look, we'll replace you if you keep trying to do some gas chamber on us, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
I got out of the military. I didn't know how to do gas chambers outside of it.
Hey, you're the one that gave me refried beans.
I didn't give you nothing. You took them.
Hey, I'm the type of person, if it's offered, I'll eat it.
So not too much to talk about. Pretty
Looking
much
like a true fat kid.
two big topics to talk about today. We'll get to those later. Of course, everyone knows NFL playoffs is going on. One of the games just ended. We'll get into that. And then college football playoffs. The Bulls are done. We got one game left.
Yep.
A lot to talk about college football and maybe some thoughts on the future. Man, we got some of that.
So who was it that won the NBA Cup? Do you remember?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. That's right, Milwaukee.
And since then, though, and that brings us to our first topic is NBA. So since then, though, the Bucks have turned it around from when they were 1-12 or whatever they were, one of the worst teams in the NBA. They've rised.
Yeah.
I think they're like number 4 or 5 seed right now if the playoffs started, which I hate hearing if they start today. Well, that's cool. Doesn't so who cares?
You still got a lot of games left.
Now,
to
if
play.
it's like a week left, then you can say, well, if they would have started today, they have 5. But it starts in 2 weeks to see where they're at.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than it ends in 3 months to see where they're at.
Right. I think we still got like 40-something games to go.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Fourth in the East, 2016.
Fourth. There you go. So they were down at the bottom, and now they're 4th.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about how Giannis went in there, yelled, and basically got Darvin Ham fired.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that lit a more fire in Doc Rivers' butt, but definitely lit a fire in everyone else's.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes a player going in and making his voice heard is a big deal. But if you
I don't
have LeBron, you just
I don't watch much basketball, right? Clearly that's why we usually leave with the NBA and stuff like that. And we talk maybe once in a while we'll throw college basketball out there.
Yeah.
I watch G League because it's more competitive. It's more exciting than the NBA because they actually have players that actually want to play.
Right. Well, I mean, they're trying to get into the big leagues, right? But I don't watch much, but I do now hear more about Lopez contributing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Brook Lopez, he's up there in age.
Yeah,
but he still can contribute. He still can get you 12 points, 10 rebounds.
Yep.
Yeah, one team that's throwing it back all the way back to the 80s and 90s with defensive basketball, and that's the freaking OKC Thunder.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going.
They're one of the best defensive teams.
Hard stopping people to get to 100. Yeah. I've seen their games, and they don't usually get to 100 over 100 like crazy. It's not like they're scoring 120 and holding someone to 80.
Right.
But you know what? They're slowing down the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking better shots. They might get to 105, 100, but they're stopping you at 90, 95. You're not getting to 100 when you're playing that.
Right. No, absolutely.
And that's the basketball we grew up
with. Right. That became before they went to this analytics ball.
Right. That's where they took high quality shots. You drove into the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got threes with Kerr and
sure.
Pippen and some teams.
But that wasn't your game.
No, that wasn't your game plan. That was like when Jordan's driving down and they're just open because you got 4 people on Jordan.
Yes, and I believe they made NBA history for like having players leading in all statistical defensive categories.
Oh, OKC, wow. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're doing great.
I love defensive basketball.
And I think did they lose to the Cleveland the other day? Because they played Cleveland. And it was the best in the East versus the best in the West. And they were like 30-14, let's just say. I don't know what the record was.
Yeah, they lost 122, 109 to 122.
Oh, wow. They kept it close, too.
Yeah, and that wasn't defense in that one.
No.
But they were one game off. Like one had 31 wins, the other one had 30 wins, right? Yeah. And one had 5 losses, one had 4 losses. Yeah. Right? And now
Cavaliers are sitting 33-4 top of the East, and
so they were 30 at the time. They were like 31 or 32 or whatever, 31-4.
Yeah,
and the other team was 30-5. Mm-hmm. So you had the number 1 and number 2 teams going at it.
Yeah,
those are going to be your top seeds, I think, when the season finishes.
That's always a good game.
And these are the 2 teams where no one really expected them how to play this year.
No one the thing is, no one really expected the Cavs to be the best in the East, right?
Yeah,
they expected to be up there, maybe in the playoffs, but not the best team.
No.
Right. One of the things that's going on for OKC right now is they're finally starting to see the Kevin Durant trades come back to help them.
Yes, and they're finally
And so they're seeing people now. Oh, somebody said something. I can't read it because I'm old and I got bad eyes.
I can't read it either. I'm blind.
All right, let's see what we can figure out here. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna figure out what people.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have a person reading the comments today, so sometimes we can't see.
And so the thing is that no one expected, and OKC turned it around. Yes, they were good in the early 2010s until like maybe a little bit into like the late 2010s, but
Yeah.
Other than that, they haven't done much. I mean,
Right.
they almost went to a cup, the NBA Finals.
Yep.
Once, but they got stopped by either the
The
Warriors.
NBA Cup. That's such a.
Almost an NBA Cup. Oh my God, that's middle of the season. That was way before that.
Yeah.
And before that.
So Jason says he's getting ahead of us here with some football, but he said that Herbert threw then all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think meant tonight.
No, all season he had 3.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
7 all year.
We're gonna get to that because we got a good topic about that when we're talking about generational quarterbacks.
Yep. For the big board tonight.
And Cleveland last year, they were in the playoff team and they were pretty decent. Like I think they made it to the second round.
I think they did.
And
Donovan Mitchell's proved that he wasn't the problem in Utah.
Yep, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
He was able to go to Cleveland and help lead that team to a resurgence.
And maybe, who knows, if they can win a ring without LeBron, does it ruin LeBron's legacy in Cleveland? Like, oh yeah, you brought us a ring. Now they're just like, whatever, LeBron, you be wherever you want to be because you abandoned us twice.
Does it ruin his legacy in Cleveland? I don't think so.
Not the NBA legacy, but like he's no longer the hero in Cleveland.
Right.
Because now Donovan can do it, right?
Right.
Because here's the thing with LeBron. Hey, I came back. I won you a ring. Yeah, we love you again. And they left, and they didn't hate him as much when he left the first time because you got us a ring this time.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, Donovan Mitchell didn't need 25 All-Stars to win us a championship.
Right.
So he's our hero because he can do it, and he's going to stay.
Yeah, but
left.
He'll never have the name recognition of LeBron James, though.
Well, not in Cleveland because that's his home area.
Right.
But the thing is, like, hey, you're still our hero. You made it well, but you know what? You're no longer held to that high on the podium because here's Donovan who did it with us.
Right.
You're number 2 or 3 in Cleveland. And here he comes in, and he doesn't need Kevin Love. He doesn't need Kyrie Irving. He doesn't need all these all-stars on his team.
Yeah.
There's one team that is surprisingly doing really bad this year, kind of like stagnant, is Warriors. They're 19-19, sitting 10th at the bottom almost.
Yeah, but we knew that was coming, right? Clay's gone.
Yes.
So you took one key piece out, not the star. Yeah, he's going down, but you know what else is going down? Draymond Green's going down. Steph Curry's going downhill.
When Draymond's going down when he's not getting suspended for kicking people in the nuts.
Yeah, he's going down though, right? Steph Curry's going down.
Yeah.
Because they're on the back end of the career.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr knows this. And we know when Steph is done, Steve is done. He's not going to stay around and try to rebuild. He's done. He's done his time. He's not going to be Popovich coaching the same team for 50 years. Okay.
Right. No. And he's going to be like he did with Jordan, right? Jordan retired, and so Steve Kerr retired. Yeah.
Well, Steve went to San Antonio for a little bit.
But yeah, he basically left after Mike.
And that's the thing. Steve Kerr did a great job to turn that team around. That whole when they got Steph Curry, it's not like they took off, right?
Right.
It helped turn around.
I mean, beginning of his career, Steph Curry was dealing with a bunch of like lingering ankle issues.
Right. And in the front office, though, they did their job to turn it around.
They really did.
It's not Steve Kerr's job to keep leading a team of people on the back end of their careers. It's the front office to go, okay, we need 2 replacements for these guys.
Yeah.
And then find the replacement for Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Because every year we talk about, not us, but people have talked about on sports radio shows. Is this the last year with Steve Kerr? Is this the last year with Steve Kerr?
Even Spurs is going to have a sign in their arena saying this is where Popovich died, because I guarantee they're going to roam on a stretcher one of these days.
Yeah.
Well,
Popovich is going to stay there until he's.
Yeah, but my concern is this, right? If the front office would do their job, they could bring players in and they could keep Steve Kerr around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they should do.
That's what they should do, but I don't expect them to do that.
Players in now. Again, NBA is a little bit different. You can't just go to the draft and try to reload because you got 2 or 3 rounds. Like you don't have 7 rounds and 30 picks
Right.
to get people. I mean,
But realistically,
picks, but 10 picks in the NFL draft for somebody.
Right. But realistically, they should have players in the G League that they've got developing that they should be able to bring into the NBA every 3 years.
And the one thing I noticed though, the G League, it is a developmental league, but not a lot of people get out of the G League.
No, it's not like the minors
minor leagues
in
for baseball.
Right.
I know that's what they're trying to
Well,
do.
like, pretty much
Yeah,
like
Or
once
even
you're
the
in the G
UFL for
League-
the NFL.
Yeah.
You got at least not a lot of UFL stars, but you got kickers
Right.
who are making a name for themselves in the
Brandon Aubrey.
UFL. Brian Aubrey, wasn't there another one
Yeah.
this year for
Detroit.
Yeah.
Kicker.
he played in the UFL.
Yeah.
And
He
they're
was a
making
brick salesman.
a name for themselves.
Right. But the G League's more of a basketball league for second tier college basketball players.
Yes,
It's really
Once-
all it is. It's
basically,
not,
once you're in the G League, you're in the G League
Right.
for life.
they're not pulling guys up. Very
No.
rarely do they, right? And they might if they've got like an injury, like they'd pull up a third AAA guy out of Scranton or whatever, right?
Mhm.
But that dude
Yes.
comes up for a couple of games or whatever, and then he goes back to the G League because those G League guys just aren't that good. I mean, they're better than I've ever been.
Yes.
But those guys are not pro level players, and they never will be. They're not really developing them. They're just letting them play basketball in a organized league, making semi money and letting them go.
Yeah. And another surprising team that to do well this year was the Rockets. They're sitting number 2 in the West, 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got told I'm halfway off the screen again.
Oh yeah, you keep moving. You want me to go move the camera? Anyway, y'all keep talking.
No, we're not gonna
so
move the camera because
all right.
then it'll get disconnected. We get shut off.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so
Jake
that's
just
my
gotta do a better job of not trying to cut me out.
I did my best. Okay, you were in there when I first set up the camera.
All right. So anyway, the but that's my thoughts on the G League, right? And that's why nobody's coming up. It's because it's just a league for second rate or second tier
Right.
college players.
Basically, all the players that they get in the NBA now is from either international or like top tier
Yeah.
recruits out of college.
Exactly. And they're not again, baseball, you can put so many people on a roster, football,
Yeah.
basketball, you got so many roster spots.
Yep.
But there's nothing like even hockey has an AHL minor league, right?
Yeah.
Basketball's trying this minor league, but I think that all it is hey, we just got another league that people could pay.
Yeah.
And we can pay them less money,
Right.
and it'll have them. Now they probably make more money than minors baseball
Mhm.
players who make $30,000 a year.
Controversial thought. League is the WNBA for second tier basketball
Yes.
players.
Agree.
Pretty much.
It's a way that NBA can keep these players
Yeah.
right and
Yeah.
not have it to go against another league
Right.
for basketball.
Yep.
Right. Like the NFL have 53-man rosters plus practice squad. Even on the
Yep.
practice squad, you make $600,000, which is more than what some of these spring football people make.
Right.
So they are never going to have competition during the NFL season because
Yeah.
you will get blown away.
Yeah.
NBA could always have competition and take people away because you only have so much talent.
Yep.
So this other talent, G League, like you said, it's competitive. Okay, well, they go to this other league that they can get $2 million a piece, right? There's no one to fund it. But I'm just saying if they had another league to go against, what would be the G League would be a different NBA league. And now you got, and if you go up against the NBA, you could take some of their viewership.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Yep.
you take some of their viewership and then you got a LeBron James of the G League dominating someone, they're going
Mhm.
to look at that because, oh, this dude dominated. Look how great he is. Now,
Yeah.
granted, he's not playing top tier name. Well, then eventually that gets ratings. Maybe their money goes up, maybe something else. So someone who's kind of a key player somewhere
Mhm.
else could be a star in the G League.
Yeah.
And then he'll go to that league.
Yeah.
And some other people will follow.
Yeah.
Or you got someone like Steph Curry on the back end of his career going to this other competition league because
Yeah.
hey, I could make some good money still,
And that's
but I can still be a star and
Yeah.
and keep my career going. And another thing to look at like that is there's a hockey player. I can't think of his name right now. It escapes my head. He's like 48, 49. He went back overseas to play. And he's playing like 49, 50 years old.
yeah.
I think he
Well-
played with Ovechkin and Wayne Gretzky. Like, I mean, he's been there because Wayne Gretzky and Ovechkin have a teammate in common.
So what do you think about if they were to, I'm not going to say demote, but drop some older NBA talent down to the G League to
That
try
isn't
and
contributing as much. Not like a
Right.
Brook Lopez who's still being a star.
right. No,
or
no,
like
no.
a Klay Thompson
Right.
or Draymond Green. But like if you're like a a Westbrook who's coming
Right.
off the bench, or Chris
Right.
Paul coming off the
Right.
bench, and you're just there for leadership,
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you're going out, and yeah, we're gonna replace you in the draft in like 3 years, maybe.
Mhm.
Well, why not give someone a chance? Like they dropped Bronny James,
Yep.
Bronny Jr. or whatever, Bronny, and they probably promoted somebody who actually
Yeah.
deserved it. Right? I would
Probably, yeah.
imagine they did that because you just don't lose somebody a spot and then just not fill it.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Unless they got someone off a free agency. What I'm saying is
Right, but I hear what you're saying, yeah.
that opened up a roster spot,
Mhm.
and rightfully so.
Right.
Clearly should never been drafted in
Mhm.
second
Right.
round.
Right.
But if you give someone like a Westbrook or someone who's just there for veteran preference because or presence, because technically they're not contributing as much, they're coming off the bench, they're on the decline by a lot.
Right.
Now Westbrook is contributing. I think he's having great games and stuff.
Sure.
But Chris Paul is right there on the cusp.
Right,
I mean, he's
right.
been around for years.
Yep. His body's starting to fail.
Someone
He
like
can't
him,
survive
or
it.
like even James Harden, who's eventually going to be on the decline.
Yeah.
And
I
maybe
thought he already was in the decline.
well, he is, but like eventually, like he's not going to put up random 40-point games.
Right.
If you're still putting up random 40-point games, they're not going to demote you.
Right.
If you're coming off
Right.
the bench and only doing 10 points and you're there for veteran presence, yeah, put them on the G League.
Yeah.
So they could train those people
Mhm.
and use what they know, and
Mhm.
it makes their career last longer.
Right. Because right now the veteran, quote unquote, veteran preference you have is the old players who are now coaches in the G League. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have any. It's all 19 to 21-year-olds in the G League, and that may be what they want. Those probably 21 to 24-year-olds. Right.
Those, I think G League now, you could go straight to the G League from high school.
High school?
I think you can. And
Oh,
not
I don't know
go
the
to
rules on that.
college.
Huh. I don't even know the rules on
I
that.
thought that was a thing they added.
I thought,
but you
in
couldn't
all
go to the NBA draft. You
affiliated
had to go to the.
leagues,
You could only
I
go
thought
to
you
the G
have
League.
to play at least one of either college or some other foreign league.
Well, something to do
That's
some
that thing.
research
I
on.
don't know.
Yeah, it's something to do some research on, and we can come back to the
'Cause I
to the
know
listeners on
they
that.
stopped drafting out of high school in like 2003 or 2004.
LeBron, I think, was the last one.
Yeah, LeBron's class. I think there might have been one more after that, but not much.
No.
And I don't think anyone was good enough to come out of high school. I think that's why
No.
they did it. But no, I thought they could, or they were talking about you could forego college if you go to the G League to get people into the G League to get money. So yeah, they wanted to do that.
Right.
But yeah, I know what's his name did that. One of the balls went overseas
LaMelo, I think.
instead of going to college. The youngest one,
Yeah, LaMelo.
because LaJello, where his name is,
LiAngelo.
yeah, Jello over there. They call him Jello Ball, whatever for nickname. I don't know, some stupid.
Yeah, their dad coached a team over
Well,
there
he-
in one of the freaking foreign leagues over there.
Well, he didn't go to. He got kicked out of college, didn't he, or something for stealing
I think so, yeah.
or suspended, and then he just forego college and went overseas too.
Eventually, two of his stuff were like the one that was currently in the NBA.
All right.
The rest of the Melo brothers were still on the foreign league.
Because Lonzo was
Right.
the second best. I know. The youngest was the best, and then
Yes.
the middle one
He's
was the
currently
worst.
Playing decently on the Hornets right now.
Right, and the middle one was the worst.
So no, since 2006, it's been prohibited to take high school basketball players
Okay.
into the NBA.
I know they were talking about it. I just don't know if they ever went. Finally,
Yeah, it was 06.
approved
So
it.
now that 06 is when they brought in with the collective bargaining agreement. They brought in the one and done rule for college. They have to go to college for 1 year and then they come out depending on how good they are.
It was like what, college or a foreign league. This is Melo's
Right.
stats.
Oh,
Not bad.
so you have to be at least 19 years old, and you had to.
Yeah, and I remember, I just remember they were talking about possibly doing it for the G League only, meaning you could only go to the G League if you didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
And I don't like the one and done rule in college.
I don't either. It takes away a lot of the fun of college basketball.
Because
Yeah.
the thing, you have them for 1 year, they're gone, right?
Yep.
And you got blue bloods like Duke, Kentucky, who get those one and done. And when those coaches are, well, as you can see, Duke's coach is finally done. I don't know if they're going to do a lot of one and dones in Duke, but Kentucky with John Quarry, he's good at the one and done. But what happens when he's gone? And you're still a one and done school, so you got people coming to you that are going to be gone. You're
Yeah.
training new kids every year. You never have consistency. I like the whole football rule where you have to play 3 years before
Yeah.
you get drafted.
Well, that has to do with the
See, the WNBA,
the body.
I know this is that WNBA is way different. You have to be 22 to be drafted.
Yeah, you have to be 19 to be drafted into the NBA.
have
So
to-
you can go straight from high school to the G League.
You can.
You can.
So they did
Um,
add that. Okay.
Yep.
See, the WNBA is requiring
So
you have to be
that's-
22. You have
that's
to
again,
like
that's
basically
joining
graduate
another
college
league,
right,
to play
or
the
going to
WNBA.
college.
Right.
Because the rule you said is 19. So you go to the G League, play for a year, and then you could enter the draft, I guess.
Yep. If you don't get picked up for a college team, you can just go straight to the G League and go from there.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of those guys probably never make it because
Well, now the NIL, right?
Yeah.
So the G League's competing with NIL money for
Yeah.
for basketball, because we know basketball and football are getting the NIL
Oh, yeah.
money.
right. But again, right, your G League players are the ones who aren't going to college. Those guys are probably not getting picked up for college, and then they get dropped when a college player doesn't make the NBA.
True.
So anyway, so next topic we have for this evening is the NHL.
For all you hockey fans out
For all you hockey fans, all 9 of you.
Oh, 2 of you.
there, how
but
many people?
there's 3 watching right now, and everybody's giving us a like. So we love you guys. Y'all are great. Keep up the great work of being
Make
our
sure you all
fantastic
subscribe.
moronics.
Leave a comment for us, please.
Yes, please. We love
Um,
to interact with you guys.
NHL, I think
I hate
Jay throw this out there about the Tampa Bay doing a game.
Yeah.
They're doing Boston. How about we all go to Miami instead next February?
Who's funding said trip, dude?
Our sponsors.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah.
We all go to Miami and watch the Panthers versus the Rangers outdoor, because I want to know how you keep my ice outside cold enough in Miami.
I think I have an idea.
I know what they do and how they would do it,
Yeah.
but again, most places they play outside is Chicago,
Yeah.
Boston, right?
Yeah.
It's cold enough to be able to keep them cold.
Right.
Tampa
right.
Bay, maybe even so, but
Yeah.
Miami, where it's like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
But
outdoors.
this year, I don't think it was 70. I don't think it
No.
was 70 around.
I hate to say
February
this
1st.
to you, man, but I do not understand why why New York cannot have a decent goalie. You guys had a great goalie.
Didn't
And-
they play a hockey game in Wrigley Field?
Yeah, Chicago Blackhawks did
Yeah, they-
against
That's the
St. Louis Blues.
yeah, that's
The Winter Classic.
Winter
And that's
Classic, there it
next
is,
year's
yep.
Winter Classic. There's usually
Yep.
2, right? There's
Yep.
usually one around like Christmas time,
Yep.
and then there's one like February time,
right,
or whatever.
right.
And next year's February 2026 will be Tampa Bay and Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and then Miami versus or Florida versus New York.
Right.
That'd be, like I said, I'm just saying I'm gonna go
Yeah.
somehow,
You
some
You
way.
guys
I'll
vote.
walk.
You guys have a shit for goalie.
Not-
I
Not
don't.
normally.
No, I don't
Shesterkin
understand
was
it.
the best goalie award
Yeah.
like 2 years ago.
You guys have great
Last year, he
goalies,
slipped a
but
little
why are
bit,
they
but was still
terrible?
great.
Why are they
Yeah.
so terrible
But
this
that
year?
guy's
Hey,
I don't
his
gonna
first
understand.
catch
game
a
back,
cold.
they won. Okay, his first game back
Well,
off
that-
injury, they
that's
won,
fine,
but he
but-
still allowed 4 goals.
I was gonna say you guys are averaging like giving up 3.5 goals a game.
He's
It's
very
ridiculous.
inconsistent. Like one game he allows 1 goal, and the other game he
No,
allows
lately,
6.
lately before his injury, he was allowing like 3 or 4 goals every game. But the thing is, the Rangers scoring has finally came back,
Yeah.
so people aren't going to
Oh,
talk
so
about
now
it
he's
as much.
allowing them. They're
No.
allowing 4, and they're scoring 5. So
Yeah. Well,
in overtime.
that's what you. If
Like
that's
we
what you gotta
lost
do, it's what you
5-4 in
gotta do,
overtime
but-
against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Again, if we could have a freaking goalie. Also, if we don't do a penalty in overtime where it goes 4-on-3 or 5-on-4 hockey.
Yeah.
your
that
goalie
hurts you
couldn't
as well.
catch a cold in the
Or
Arctic.
no, it's 4-on-3 hockey. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much open space in overtime hockey. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that, I think that was
I'd
quick.
rather trust Stevie Wonder in the goal than your fucking goalie.
I want it.
I would.
I think Stevie Wonder can see, but that's another story. That's a conspiracy theory for another time.
I believe in that conspiracy theory too. There's the facts pointed out to me.
Anyway, so yeah, that's
Yeah, that.
I have a funny story for you guys from a coworker.
But they're not. I don't know. I was at a hockey game the other day in Sioux City.
Yeah.
And the goalie, they won 3-0, and the goalie was the first star. I was like, wait, goalies can be stars of the game? Because I don't
Yes.
know. Not this year. I don't.
no. You
The
gotta,
next game he allowed 1. He was the second star of the game.
yeah, you
Let's
gotta
just
throw a
skip over
shutout.
how my Blackhawks are doing. I mean,
Worst in the league, right?
No,
Second worst.
Second worst. We're not as bad as the Sharks.
Yeah, there you go.
We won 14 games. The Sharks have won 13.
Hey, the Rangers
Yeah.
are not okay. They won like 17 games.
So the Dallas is looking okay,
the
but
Kraken have done better than us.
Yes, Dallas is one of the top star
Yeah.
teams in the West.
yeah, we have been for a few years now.
And,
We've got
and
a pretty
Rangers
good.
beat them a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, whatever. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is the turnaround. And
Yeah.
then they go ahead and lose more.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what 19 and 20 and 2.
Yeah, I said, okay, 19. Okay, we're 4 better games than you.
just barely under 500.
Yeah, but are we even in a playoff yet
You guys are 6th
in the conference?
Sixth in the
Or
conference.
division?
in the division.
Then no, we're not.
The division.
Conference, maybe. Division? No. I think there's only 6 teams that make it.
I think it's on both sides.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're the
okay.
bottom of our conference.
Yeah, there you go.
We're worse than the Sharks.
Could be.
I thought you said you weren't worse than the Sharks.
You go to the conference.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
Oh, so you are worse than the Sharks.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of comment on this one. I'm not a big hockey guy, so
But
I know that's big. You're a big deal.
Yeah. The players they've got have got good defense.
Yeah.
They've gotten a couple good tip ins. It looks like the scoring is turning around. Zibanejad's getting some points.
Yeah.
Fox and Panarin are finally like getting points, but there's games
That's
weren't
good
getting
all in
points.
well.
Yeah.
But can your goalie actually stop a goal?
But what I'm saying is they're doing stuff they weren't able to do before and start
Yeah.
scoring and stopping some.
Oh.
I mean, there's games where there was like 21 shots on goal, but the goalies combined allowed 5 goals.
Yeah.
You're talking like a 60% save percentage.
My question is,
If you're still doing it, see, the thing is, if you look at some of these games from before, they're
Mhm.
allowing 4 goals, but there's like 60 shots on goal.
that's what I was
So
about
they
to
still
ask.
got like a 90% save
So
percentage.
I was because that's what I was going to ask is what's the shots on goal that's going on for you guys? Because if you statistically the more shots on goal, the more goals you're going to give up, right? And if your defensemen aren't stopping the other team from getting into your zone, then they're going to keep shooting them, and you're going to miss them eventually, right? The laws of statistics. So is your guys' problem the goalie, or is you guys' problem the defense?
It was the
holding them?
defense, right? Last couple games, I think it's been a little bit like the one we won 5-4 in overtime.
Right.
Sturkin was on IR, coming
Mhm.
back, maybe a little rust, right?
Right.
Quick and stuff. I've seen some games we lost 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
so we're not getting the scoring,
Right.
but you're stopping the goals.
Yeah, because that's the big thing, right? Is
The defense is getting better, but there are games where clearly the defense,
Mhm.
like the 4 something, that's still
Right.
defense to me.
Right.
It's not always the goalie. The defense should be down there trying to save them, trying to do this.
Right.
And I'm watching
Mhm.
it, and I'm seeing the shots on goal,
Yeah.
the shots on goal, and they got clear shots. So sometimes the goalie is wrong, or the puck just
Right.
hits the pole just right and bounces in. It's happened,
Right.
or bounces off he goes to make the save, but then the one guy just puts a stick out and just tips it just a little bit, so that's why it goes the other way. But if it was going to go the same trajectory, it wasn't tipped in
Right.
by one of our own players. That happened once.
Yeah.
Our own player went to stop it and hit the stick and just bounced in.
Yeah. Redirected it
That's-
around the
that's-
goalie, and
that's
then just
that's
just happened.
unfortunate. It happens.
Yeah.
It's hockey.
Yeah.
It's lucky bounce.
Mhm.
But the goalie would have stopped it. But a tip in helps. So it's a lot of the other teams are getting a lot of good tip in shots,
Yeah.
which is also defense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe they're not. They're still blocking when people are taking shots, but they're allowing a lot of tip ins.
Right. So you're not going to get defensive player of the year this year.
Goalie of the year.
No.
Or
no.
defensive player of the year,
of the year. No.
Lucky if you
So-
didn't make the All-Star game.
So I got a question for you.
Look at it.
Kako.
Capo Caco!
There you go.
Now in Seattle. Stupid Kraken.
Taco. Anyway, do you think he
Wacko,
left
wacko.
because they're
Waka
trying
waka.
to maintain their cap, or do you think he left because he was pissed off that Shesterkin got paid the way he did and Kako's not getting paid?
No,
the
they
way he
need a new
thinks he should?
defensive man, so they trade him for a defensive.
Oh, they're trying to improve their defense, so they gave up their best offensive player.
He's not
That's
the
a great.
best.
That's a great plan,
Capo Caco's not the best.
isn't he?
Panarin,
Mm.
Fox, Zibanejad.
Okay. See the way you talk about him.
Caco, I just like screaming his name, but
Oh, okay.
he doesn't have as much goals as Zibanejad in them.
Gotcha.
It's just because his name's Capo Caco, and it sounds great when you go Capo Caco.
Waka waka.
Taco.
Maybe that's why I think of Fozzie Bear.
Waka waka.
He is a great player. He's one of the better ones.
Right.
So you could definitely get a better defensive player in.
Gotcha. Okay. I was curious.
But because there's other people who have, like, they talked about trading Chris Kreider,
Mhm.
but luckily he was healthy scratch one day. He came back, he scored.
Yeah.
He went back on the thing because he wasn't scoring either. Kreider's a good player. Like, a lot of the players they have are named players, at least for me.
Right.
I could go, but now I'm seeing new names because they're like, okay, we need to bulk up the defensive, so let's get rid of maybe some offensive players or trade some defensive players that are still good
Right.
and get maybe a little same, but something different.
Right,
Because
right.
we need to change something.
Yeah.
It may not be their better players on defense, but hey, you know what? Maybe they're better at defense and not scoring on, because
Right.
defensive men still score. They're still up here, so that when it's defense time, they come down,
Right.
Mhm.
and then they're down on their goal, right?
Yeah. And
So
it
you
could
got
have.
the 2 here, and then you got the 2 here. Well, then when you're on the other end, they're by the goal versus whatever,
Right.
and they still score. Keandre Miller, great defensive guy, he can score too.
Mhm.
but maybe, hey, let's give up a little bit of our scoring for the defensive
Mhm.
guys and look for the ones that can stop the puck.
Right, and it could have been you gave up some
Right.
offensive depth to gain defensive depth because
Yes.
your first line was good, but your second and third lines were
Yeah,
crap.
Kako, they was like on the third or fourth line.
Yeah,
And again, if you get someone who, okay, even if it's a defensive guy for a defensive guy,
hmm
he may not be a better scoring defensive guy,
right.
but he's a better defensive guy.
Yeah.
He's better at blocking the shots and not letting him get to the goal.
Right.
And that's what they need.
Right.
I was telling you the shots on goal, 40
Yeah.
shots on goal, allowing
Yeah.
5 or allowing 4. You're like, it's still 90%.
Right.
So you're still doing 90%.
Also, hey, I
And
got
losing.
a question. When did you learn how to spell Netflix? Netflix.
Don't worry
I
about it.
was writing fast. Thank you very much. We were talking and everything, and I was paying attention to the game, and I know I spelled it wrong, but I don't care.
I'm just looking at him like.
Well, it was also at an angle when I was writing it because you could see the E and stuff. So maybe that was a T the way I was writing it, and then it turns into an X when you straighten it out.
yeah, Netflix.
You two are so silly. All right, so next up we do have WWE
Netflix.
on Netflix.
Yeah,
So-
the WWE moved to Netflix for
No,
the
it's
first
Netflix.
time since it started in '93, except
Yeah.
for a short run in TNN. It went to Netflix.
Yeah.
And when I say for the first time ever, though, all in one place, everywhere around the world at the same time. Used to be on Skynet this time.
Yeah.
Nope. Mexico, you're watching on Netflix.
Hmm.
Germany, you're watching on Netflix live at the time that it's live. So the
Right.
first time it's actually live everywhere at the same
So
time.
does that mean that the episode still stays
On-
available to be seen on Netflix?
I haven't checked.
Okay.
Yes, because I
I
watched
think
reruns.
Okay.
You watched the reruns of this last one?
Yeah, I watched the rerun of the one that was just on Netflix.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll stay on. And I figured it would because it goes on Peacock eventually.
We
Yeah.
had a comment.
We have another comment.
Ooh, a new comment. Let's look and see what we got. Jason says WWE was weak this week.
It was 4 matches for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I understand that it's for some reason my medical thing came up and I want to make an emergency call. My blood pressure because we're talking about how bad WWE is this week. But I understand the surprises you wanted this, and it led off. First of all, I want to talk about this segment. Horrible.
What?
The Rock came out for a segment.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Triple H came out, I was like, "Are you ready? Let's get started." And The
Thought he
Rock
was talking
came
about
out,
us for a second.
and he comes out, he goes, "Cody, you carried this coming in the back for a year. I love working with you, blah, blah, blah." Then they just had this big rivalry. Oh, I hate Cody Rhodes, and you slapped me, and you took my spot, and I team with the bloodline, and this, and this, and now you're praising him and turning face. Like, I thought The Rock was gonna team with Solo Sikoa. Well,
Yeah.
he's like, Roman's the true tribal chief. He's gonna get the you follow out, whatever. And Roman won, and Rock grabbed it and gave it to Roman because it was for that, because Solo took it, wasn't giving it to him.
Right.
I'm like, I thought they were supposed to be a rivalry because The Rock's gonna come back and help the new bloodline because Roman lost and made a disgrace. But now everyone's facing, everyone forgot about the whole Cody Rhodes versus Rock. and everything.
Hey, you changed networks, you got to retcon the whole thing. That's the way it
But
works.
People talked about it. I was like, yeah, it kind of ruined a whole year's storyline.
Yeah.
But I wasn't mad about that because of, it is what it is. It's just mad because he came out, he talked, he did great. That's cool. We want more matches. WWE signed Penta from AEW, one of the better younger luchadors that you could bring back, bring another Hispanic Mexican star, I should say, to the WWE. Like Andrade is not big name anymore. They brought him back, but he's not as big as he should be, right? Ray's falling down.
Ray's getting old.
Right. He's falling down because he doesn't wrestle as much. And he was supposed to debut and team with Ray is what people were thinking. Well, they pushed it back to next week.
Yeah.
Hey,
17.
Blackhawks is beating the Oilers 3-1.
All right. But you had 17,000 people in that's the largest attendance for Raw.
Oh, really?
And 17,000 people because it's a big arena.
Mm-hmm.
You have Netflix. You have the world watching. Bring Penta. Show what you can do, Triple H. Instead, you got Rhea Ripley winning the championship. Great. She beat Liv Morgan. And then The Undertaker coming out on his motorcycle as American Badass. For what? Just to ride around the ring, go back up the ramp, because it takes him forever to walk. Go back up the ramp, stand next to Rhea, and they do the whole Undertaker arm up, kind of like this thing, and then go off. What was that even for?
Yeah.
It did nothing. It did no storyline, no nothing. At least Hulk Hogan came out to promote his beer, and everyone booed the hell out of him.
Right.
I saw something on Facebook, and that'd be cool. He's like, you know what? I gave my heart, sweat, and tears. Like Hogan this week's gonna come out. I gave my heart, sweat, and tears for this wrestling business, and you turn on me. Hulkamania is dead, brother.
Yeah.
Well, go back and what NWO comes out.
Yeah. And what?
Hey, I got a reel to you after this. It deals with Hulk Hogan.
What?
It's
You said a reel?
yeah, it's a reel. So would you rather question that deals with Hulk Hogan?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. We'll talk about that off air.
So one thing that kind of gets me is it sounds like from what you talked about, they actually did storyline crap over the top of over matches. So there were matches happening in the background while they're doing a bunch of narrative.
Well, another thing they did was, and I didn't like it, is
Right.
the whole Roman Reigns versus Solo was
Right.
another was it tribal combat, or you know what they did at WrestleMania where you had all the run-ins because it was
It was a tribal combat.
combat.
thing
So you
for
had the Usos,
for the
not even
role
the-
of tribal.
let me
chief.
phrase it, not even the Usos, right? You had Jacob and someone come out to help Solo, and you had Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso,
Okay.
not Jay, because Jay had a match later.
Right.
Jimmy Uso
Hmm.
come out and help. And then Kevin Owens came out and helped the new bloodline because he's back. Cody teamed with Roman Reigns.
What?
Because the whole thing was Kevin Owens was like, you team with Roman Reigns and we were trying to stop the bloodline. Okay, well, he's fighting the new bloodline who was still part of the old bloodline who attacked you.
Yeah.
So who cares?
They need to bring the crazy guy back from AEW.
John Moxley?
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to bring that dude back. 'Cause
Ambrose?
Ambrose. I love Team Ambrose, man. He's like my favorite wrestler.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. One day we're
Dude.
just gonna be watching it, and you're gonna hear Shield music, and all three of them are gonna be in the ring. That's gonna be great. I
Yeah.
don't think he's coming back to WWE though. He's the
Yeah.
top guy in AEW.
Yeah, he's
I know,
champion.
but-
He's like a 4 or 5 time champion in AEW.
But I don't know.
And he's
Yeah,
even
I've
crazier in
seen-
AEW.
Yeah.
I seen some of his matches. Like they're like 90s hardcore.
Oh, which by the
style
way,
matches,
you can
like,
watch their matches and reruns on HBO Max.
Oh, really?
On Max, they're on Max now.
what, AEW.
AEW's on Max.
And so I was watching some of his matches highlights, and all of a sudden I'm like, this reminds me of like old school like 90s hardcore style. Like,
It's
blood,
WCW.
Yeah.
It's WCW.
like blood everywhere. He's using a bat full of barbed wire. I'm like, Jesus fuck.
They
Wow.
they bought out. I think Max bought out Bleacher Report
Okay.
because it says BR Sports on it, and then
Yeah.
that's where you can watch some of the sports. Hockey's on HBO Max now.
Oh, wow.
Or
Okay.
Max sometimes.
Well,
I mean,
hold
you
on.
put
Is
it on
it HBO
TNT and
Max or is
stuff.
it Max?
Well, it's just Max. I
Max.
keep saying HBO because that's what it used to be. HBO Max.
Right.
Now it's just Max.
Yeah,
it has
Because
other
there
stuff.
used to be a
Always use
pay
Bleacher.
channel called Max.
Cinemax.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and HBO.
So they bought each other
bought
out?
out
Yeah,
Cinemax,
okay,
but now it's HBO. It was HBO Max, and then it's just now Max because like TLC, like all the Discovery channels got bought
Yeah.
out on that.
Oh, okay.
And then you got TNT, TBS, like Impractical Jokers is on
Mhm.
it. You can watch seasons of Impractical Jokers. Then they got bought out Bleacher Sports, I think. So now Bleacher Report, like anything that's on their pay-per-view, you could probably go on Max and order it that way instead.
Okay.
You probably still have to pay
Yeah.
for the Bleacher Report, like unlike Peacock where you pay the price and you get the free pay-per-view
Right.
for WWE. But I'm gonna start watching both on that, compare it, because
Okay.
now that's easy for me to go on a Saturday or Sunday and go watch the past episode for both of them.
Yeah.
I can compare, okay, which one was better this week. Also that happened is The Rock came to NXT
Did
the
he really?
next day
Yeah, I saw the
His
clip of
daughter-
His daughter.
as the GM.
Oh, okay.
But so funny, Ethan Page came in, did some there was a little segment, and The Rock said, "I'll see you in a couple of blah, blah, whatever." And then he goes, "Get your butt out here," and slapped him on the butt. Whatever. He's being The Rock again, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
faced Rock. They also did John Cena's farewell tour
okay.
on Netflix, and he goes, "I don't know if I could be 17-time champion." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Unless I went to the Rumble." Wait, this is crazy. So he entered the Rumble. He's gonna be in the Royal Rumble.
Right. Right.
Well, we kind of all figured that.
Right. I thought that
There's a leak.
Undertaker would come back out when you said he was coming out. The
Oh.
Taker. I thought you were saying he was gonna throw his name in for the
Yeah,
Royal Rumble as well.
Hulk Hogan should too. Dude could barely walk.
Who, Hogan?
Oh my God, he
Doesn't
was
surprise me.
walking 5 steps from the entrance to stay on the ramp, and it still looked like he was struggling.
Well, he's like close to 80, isn't he?
I don't know, but if we have a Deadpool on this podcast, he's gonna be one of them every year.
No, don't do that. No.
But no, he
Number one in that is Joe Biden. But anyway,
they were talking about like
He's
you know
71.
partner with
really?
Yeah,
he's
71.
rough looking though.
he is rough looking.
We partnered with Netflix, one of the biggest brother things ever. Pat McAfee came back. It was
Yeah.
great to see him. Pat McAfee, true form, saying he's eating on the table.
yeah, that dude's a trip, man. I love that
He said, I can't remember the clip, but he said something. He was fighting. He was yelling at Dirty Dom.
Is SmackDown eventually coming to Netflix? Or
Eventually, they're going to come to Netflix. Right now, they're still on
Fine.
USA. I think in like a month or so, they're coming to
I like
Netflix.
how
Yeah.
they have their like the actual mat is actually a blue like fucking carpet.
Yeah, and the Raw is black and has like logos. It has the Real American beer, which is Hulk Hogan's beer.
Oh yeah.
And then it has like Fortnite and some of this. They're not sponsored with Prime, so shockingly, because Logan Paul was supposed to come back. He didn't come back either.
Really?
Yeah, he was supposed to come back. I think there might be something done with that because they're not sponsoring Prime because they were sponsoring Prime for the longest time.
Oh really? Oh, so
Because
when he
that's
lost,
Logan Paul's drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Logan Paul's main company, and there's Prime was the number one sponsor for all the
And then-
papers.
well, there's
Maybe-
been some conspiracy theories out there, some
And I like
conspiracies
as
out there
soon
about
as, like,
Prime.
'cause
So
this was a big thing because Carl brought this up to me. Is like how Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, let's not do logos in the ring. That's stupid." But as soon as he leaves, they have logos. In the ring.
Well, it's not even owned. Like Triple H doesn't run it, right? It's Saudi Arabia, the Saudis.
oh really? They
Yeah.
bought it out.
TKO.
Guess who's getting the Royal Rumble next year?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. Yeah.
Riyadh.
Saudi Arabia is getting a Royal Rumble next year.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the same company that owns UFC owns
Yeah,
WWE.
TKO Sports.
Yes.
But Dana White's still the face guy, and Triple H is going to be the face guy at the
Right.
WWE still.
Yeah.
Well, Dana White technically owns the what you call it anyway, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. He's not the majority owner anymore.
Oh, I thought he was.
TKO bought it out.
Yeah,
Oh, I
TKO bought it.
I thought they were just minorities.
No, he's the minority owner.
Oh, okay.
He still owns part of it.
Right.
He makes all the decisions,
like, still
right?
the face and makes all the decisions.
He's still like the chairman and stuff. Like he still makes the choices
but
and everything.
TKO is
Yeah.
like the money backing that.
I wonder how
They're
that'll
like the
change.
silent partner, or
I
like-
wonder how that'll change when he goes to Microsoft, because you know he joined the board of Microsoft to be their anti censorship,
Anti woke.
anti whatever. Yeah,
You can say anti woke.
but it's specifically for anti censorship. So that'll be interesting to see how that affects the way Dana White runs the MMA.
It's gonna be interesting. But yeah,
It's gonna be interesting.
WWE is gonna, and eventually I think they're gonna move Raw to 2 hours. That's what the
2?
plan was.
Good,
eventually.
because 3 hours is just too damn long.
Yeah.
it is, and especially when you only have 4 matches. Like I
Right.
was sitting there
Oh,
watching,
my-
I was like, okay, when is it gonna be?
Usually
over?
it's like
Well-
7, maybe 6 matches for 3 hours, but I'm like 4 and a bunch of segments for 3 hours.
Well,
That'd
even
be
if-
boring.
Even in 2 hours, you should have like 8 10-minute matches. Maybe maybe a couple of 15s in there, 6 10s and 2 15s, right? Because that gets you to about the 90-minute point, and then
And
you
then
can
30
fill
minutes.
30
See,
minutes
there's
of
like one thing
narrative.
I like about AEW is that they always of their all their matches have a time limit.
yeah.
So that's one thing I
So I
like
think
about
it's a
AEW.
20-minute time limit.
It's like a
Unless it's
15 or 20-minute time limit.
unless it's a championship, and then I don't think that the championship have. I think they have a 60-minute time limit.
Oh,
or
it's like a
something that.
25 time limit.
I thought it was 60 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a time limit, but I
They
think it's
usually
longer.
don't, but they don't run. There's been some draws for time
Right.
limits.
Yeah, it's because
Because Will
champions-
Ospreay, I saw, and who's one of the greater, like newer
Yeah.
wrestlers that came to AEW. He's had 1 tie this year, and that's probably
Yeah.
because it went to the time limit.
Paige or Soraya is having a research in their career in AEW.
Yeah, so a lot of people are because
So
Christian, because people weren't cleared.
right.
WWE,
Tony Storm.
AEW will. Yeah, Tony Storm, Edge
Yeah.
eventually would. Now he's
Mhm.
called Adam Copeland, but he still took that song from
Yeah,
Alter
because he
Bridge.
knows
Oh,
the
really?
people. He knows the person that owns the song. He knows the band.
Oh, and
and they already
WWE
said
doesn't have
that anywhere
copyright.
he goes, he has that song.
And you know who else had it? That was in AEW and came back to WWE. Punk.
CM
Punk
Punk.
had Cult of Personality when he went to AEW because WWE doesn't hold the copyrights for
Right.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
They used to make
So-
songs for people, Jim Johnson and them. So
Right.
that's why they could never take it. But people, like even names now, AJ Styles and stuff, they
Mhm.
come from one place to another. They're allowed to carry those names now. Vince
Right.
Vince allowed it near the end, and now that he doesn't own it, they allow it because that's where they made their name as that person.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like Edge, he couldn't take it because
Mhm.
Vince they copyrighted. He couldn't take it. Now, if he came back to WWE, he probably would come back as the name Edge,
Yeah.
not Adam Copeland,
Right.
right? Christian is Christian Cage, so everyone's it's still Christian.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
he was called Christian Cage when he left WWE to go to TNA originally.
Right,
So
that's what I'm
so
saying.
in the end, what do you guys feel about the new WWE on Netflix?
I think it's gonna be
I
great.
think it's gonna be good. I from the highlights, from what I watched for the highlights, I like it. I mean, yes, I mean, I wish there was still more matches, but
No, but next week they're gonna go back to the more matches and everything, and they're at least not moving the pay-per-views in Netflix.
Right.
it's still going to be on Peacock.
Right.
This is just strictly Raw. Now, eventually in the future, are they going to do everything Netflix? Possibly.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just Raw because I'm pretty sure they have a deal with Peacock
Yeah.
to have their pay-per-views and their Vault and stuff. But they got a lot of Vault stuff on Netflix. Well,
Yeah.
because they even got that McMahon documentary
Yeah.
on Netflix, which
Yeah.
I still haven't watched.
I still haven't watched either.
I heard
What?
it's good.
Of the two people in this world who I would have thought have watched it, you two are them.
Yeah.
But how much time do we really talk about having on our hands to sit down and watch this 6 1-hour
How
episodes?
busy I am outside of work in this podcast.
Not much.
Okay. Let's
Every time I talk
So-
to you, you're
Going to
sitting at home.
college, dude.
It hasn't started yet.
okay. So hey, moronics out there who are watching this, maybe later. I know there's only one live person who's he's already commented on how he feels about it. Let us know how you feel about the new WWE format for Raw on Netflix. Let us know what you think, and we'll respond. We respond to all comments that you guys put in our post episode comment section. So or on our Facebook.
God damn it.
They lost, huh?
Edmonton tied it up.
Oh well.
I mean, the Oilers are a good team, though.
Yeah. So, and Justin, thank you for your comment on you feel that the WWE was weak this week
I mean,
and all the W's. That was really hard to say.
it was very weak. Lamar Jackson got a touchdown.
All right.
Bateman
7-0.
7-0 with 14 left to go in the second.
All right.
Just start the second.
Gotcha.
Big board.
All right. So tonight's big board.
Generational quarterbacks, right?
Right.
Is
Absolutely.
that what we agreed on? Or decade quarterbacks? Best
Yeah.
quarterback of the
Some to that
decades.
effect. Yeah.
If you want to go there. So the reason we wanted to talk about this is because we talked about this in the group chat about what do we feel about Justin Herbert.
Right.
And I had to say, well, we got to clarify our definition of generational because
Mhm.
some people, not me, and I don't think you did either, but I
Right.
think Carl and Jake, I know Carl for sure, kind of defended he should be because of he should be considered generational because of his passing yards and what he's done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I agreed, yes, he is a good quarterback because, like you said, all season until this game, 3 interceptions.
Right.
Doesn't turn the ball over. Has good yards. They have good. They're winning, right?
Right.
This game. 4.
Yeah. Oh, but to me, a generational quarterback is someone who one can change the game. When you think of a decade or a generation of people growing up watching, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be Mahomes. No one's taught, maybe even Lamar, right? But
Yeah.
no one, Joe Burrow. No one's going, I want to be a Justin Herbert.
Right. So I know a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Right. And I don't
Yeah.
follow it as much as y'all do. Obviously, I'm not as
I mean, you
crazy
could probably,
fanatical as y'all
I
are.
think you can still probably name 20 starting quarterbacks.
I absolutely
in the
could, and
NFL.
Justin Herbert's not one of them. I didn't even know he was a quarterback in the
Yeah,
league
because
until I
you
saw
said,
that.
wait,
stupid
Justin
commercial.
Herbert still playing?
Yeah, I was like, Justin Herbert still plays, and he's a generational quarterback.
Now,
Well,
I can see him being a Hall of Famer if they can win a Super Bowl.
Right. My opinion.
Maybe.
Like you said it best. He's Phillip Rivers 2.0.
Yeah.
Yes, because he can have a best statistical regular season, have one of the best rosters around him. But as soon as he gets to the playoffs, they either the second round or miraculously somehow make it to the wild card or make it to the division championship and get bounced.
But never go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Here's my, because I looked up Phillip Rivers. I said he's done pretty good. He
Oh,
at
yeah.
least wins
He's
one
top
game.
5 or
He usually
he's top
wins
5
one.
or top 6 in all statistical categories for all-time passing everything. But
And here's the thing. The one thing I said about Justin Herbert was we'll see if Phillip Rivers even gets into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If Phillip Rivers does not get into a Hall of Fame and Justin Herbert doesn't win a Super Bowl, he will not get into the Hall
Right.
of Fame.
Right.
And
Same with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow won't go in the Hall of Fame if he doesn't win a Super
Right.
Bowl, if Phillip Rivers doesn't get
Yep.
yes.
in. Eli's going to get in because he has 2 rings. Now, he didn't win those, but he's going to get in because of those 2
A
rings.
lot
He's
of
got 2
people
rings,
in the-
doesn't matter.
In the sport groups I'm in are debating that he even make it. Yes, he has 2 Super Bowls, but he is mid when it comes to
I didn't
passing,
say he was great.
I agree with you, but
but he's mid when it comes to
If-
passing, but he's so high when it comes to interceptions.
But
If-
can you mention
hey, look.
can you mention the game without mentioning Eli Manning defeating?
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, look, if you look
The
at that
18 and
game,
0
do I
or
say,
19 and 0.
say he's a first ballot? No. Do I say he's a Hall of Famer? Yes.
you know how he's going to get in that pass? And if he gets in, he better take this person out to the best steak dinner for his whole family. David Tyree with that
Yep.
catch.
the helmet catch.
Because you still got to credit the throw
Yep.
as much as you got to credit the catch. I mean, you got to credit the catch way more
Yeah.
See, my,
with gum on his head.
Yeah.
my
yeah.
opinion of a generational.
You saw that commercial, right, where he stuck the
No.
gum on the dudes.
No.
So someone was chewing gum or whatever and stuck it on David Tyree's helmet. It was a commercial. He went out there
Yeah.
and they showed the catch because the gun was out there. That's why it
Yeah.
stuck.
Nice.
It's a great
And
commercial. It's almost
so-
as good as the Jerry Rice commercial with
Oh,
Matthew
yeah.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
You seen that one, right?
Yes. So my opinion on,
Oh, we got
on
another comment.
what's a generational player is that yes, they have the talent, but they also like trying to change the system and they change the NFL.
But
not,
again, that proves you can't mention the game without talking about. Like that's
Right.
what you're talking about with
Right.
that. People wanted to be, and I
yeah,
know
like,
you're
like
going
growing
with
up
the
a
Dan
whole, I want to be like Dan
Marino, Joe
or
Montana.
Montana. It's Joe Montana, you idiot.
So Justin has a comment. He says he thinks Josh Allen is also Phillip Rivers 2.0.
Yes, that's a fair.
Could be.
I think he's more of a not Phil Sims. What was that guy?
Boomer.
Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, Boomer Esiason 2.0.
I think this is the best year the Bills have to make it to the Super Bowl.
I do
Yeah.
too.
With Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And it's just like having a generation quarterback that helps change. Like Dan Marino, he actually helped change the NFL to what it is nowadays, where it's more pass heavy from what it being run heavy.
Yeah.
Because when he got in the NFL, it was still like run heavy, but with a little passing. He changed that to actually when he went to the Dolphins and changed that to throwing like 70 and within like
So
a game.
In my generational quarterback, I think there's a few you could mention, but this generation, anyone who could throw behind the back, through the legs, and still catch the dang, complete it, and not get intercepted, deserves to be generational.
Yeah,
no look, dart down the field.
I mean, what he does to keep plays alive, to avoid being sacked, and how he turns it off in the playoffs reminds me of another generational quarterback, and that's Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is not, to me, not generational because what he's done on the field, the throws and everything.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what he's generational is 7 rings.
Yeah.
And how did he get those 7 rings?
Oh, yeah.
He took pay cuts.
Right. For me, it's the
you pay
sacrifices he made.
He sacrificed pay.
Yes.
Hey, I want to win.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do what it takes to win.
Because he easily could have been one of the highest paid quarterbacks, but he's like,
Easily.
no, I want a team around me so we can win Super
He
Bowls.
won more Super Bowls the second half of his career than the first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because he's a smart businessman.
Oh, yeah. He could have said, "Oh, I want all the money," but no, he's like, "I want to win Super Bowls. I want a team around me, so I'll take a pay cut."
I want to
get
be,
people.
I want to be
get
known as
people
the
so we can
greatest
win.
of all time.
Yep. And he is. I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that. I don't care if he's a quote unquote system quarterback. The
Hey,
dude,
you know what? System quarterback won a
They
championship.
win football
He
games.
won 7
Yep.
championships. Got a whole bunch of you got a whole bunch of Patriot fans that are now Chief fans. Who
I mean,
they were born
You're not
Patriot
wrong.
fans and they're like, oh, he's lost. Hey, Pat Mahomes, here you go.
Yeah.
But you know,
you
I don't mind having a system quarterback.
Yeah.
Whether he turns the ball over or not, system quarterbacks that win you championship games, call the system all you want.
Yep.
Call him a cheater all you want. He didn't
I mean,
cheat. Okay, he
Nope.
deflated the ball. You know what?
Did he?
Aaron Rodgers says.
like,
Aaron Rodgers
did he
says.
cover someone.
But here, all the other quarterbacks came out to defend Tom Brady. So
Yeah.
did he really do it, or is that just? And here's the thing about.
or did someone else do it and he's just
Well,
covering for that
Here's the
person?
thing. I like my. Well, who was it? The Colts that complained about it.
I think so. Yeah.
It was the Colts.
Yeah.
Okay. When they're on offense, if the ball's that much easier to catch, why couldn't you intercept the ball more?
Yeah.
Oh shit! You touched the ball a couple times for completions, but you couldn't catch it. It's easier to catch the deflated ball. That's what their excuse was. Then
Yeah.
what was their excuse for defense for not intercepting the ball?
Right.
What's your
Right.
excuse for not sacking him more?
And-
What's your excuse for your offense sucking?
Yeah.
Like, you got
I
other
mean-
excuses.
Yeah.
I also brought up like today. Back in the day, you had gunslingers.
Brett
Now it's-
Favre.
Yes, Brett Favre. All those. Now today they're a little rare. Today you have a modern day gunslingers with Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen,
Yeah.
which they don't care if they throw high interceptions in the games. They're still gonna get.
That's
the
Brett
win.
Favre.
So actually Jason brings up a good point. Is Big Ben in this conversation about generational quarterbacks?
I mean, yes, because he got away
He
with
was
rape.
the
No, I'm just
youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. He won it in his second year.
He's in the conversation, but you got to look at the other quarterbacks of that generation.
Sure.
You had Peyton Manning.
Also,
You had
look,
Tom Brady around that time.
I'm still not convinced on Peyton. Now, is he generational?
I don't think
know.
he's generational because again, he was in the late 90s,
Mm-hmm.
got
98
big-
draft class.
right? And 2000 was Tom
Yep.
Brady. So Tom Brady wins that generation.
Yeah.
Yes. You also look at the quarterbacks at which he was drafted, he was one of the best draft classes of the century.
Like Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers to me is not a generational quarterback. He's a generational crybaby and ayahuasca user.
See,
Yes.
I kind of disagree with that because he brought things to the game.
Well,
that,
I'm not gonna lie, his stats are generational. You're never gonna see his stats again.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
worried about
you're
his.
never
never
see
gonna-
someone that has
I'm talking
below
about
100 interceptions.
With 300, well, he just hit the 500 touchdown club,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? So yes, he's generational. People are gonna remember him from generations, and I think he's at 120
way-
interceptions, maybe.
I believe that the way that Aaron Rodgers masterfully manages a football game, and I'm not talking about just on offense, but the way that he manages the football game is generational. I don't think anybody manages a football game like Aaron Rodgers. As much as he's a crybaby, baby, call it all you want. I think that the man can manage a football game better than anybody else, probably in 50 years.
By
Right.
far, he can. Okay, so here we go.
Right.
503 touchdowns, 116 interceptions.
That's insane. A 2-to-1 or a 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, and he's by far best at touchdown interception ratio so far.
Yeah.
I
You've
remember
never
a
seen
couple
that
years
ever in the,
ago,
in the
he was the
NFL.
first quarterback in NFL history, and probably the only one to throw over 300 touchdowns and less than 100 interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was at like
Because-
85. He was at a point where he could throw 21 straight picks before he threw an interception, or like 15, like a ridiculous amount of picks
Yeah.
before a touchdown, and still have a great, one of the best touchdown interception ratio. Like, yes, the guy he's going on the back end, but takes care of the ball. And even his interceptions are like tit passes from his receivers.
Right.
Yes. And you can also argue like generation talent. We also argue like, oh, which year had the best quarterback drafts? Like 04, 83,
Mm.
2018.
I think-
It's hard to
think
beat
when you-
83.
I think when we
It
talk
is
about
hard to beat 83.
83 years old, yeah, it's hard to beat it.
83 year
No, I
draft
know.
class, motherfucker.
But you just said it's hard to be 83. So I was like, yeah, it is hard to be 83. But no, my thing of generational is though, are you gonna remember from generations, right?
Yes.
Were you the number one quarterback in your generation?
Yeah.
That's why I said Aaron Rodgers can be considered generational, but it's based on your idea.
Okay.
So if your idea is you got to have 2 or 3 generational quarterbacks, then
Right.
you're only going to see this so much. Yeah, but to me, it's once in a generation.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, I can hit players.
you got 3
before,
generations
like,
right
back in
here.
the day.
Ready? Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
Yep.
3 generations, no fight. Those are the generational.
Yep.
So for
Pretty much.
quarterbacks, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because you got Tom Brady and Brett Favre interlapping. Well, those are still, to me, 2 generations.
Yeah.
Because I remember Brett Favre when I was a kid, and Tom Brady is more like high school.
Right.
You got Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, but again, 7 years apart from drafting, you can
Right.
still consider that.
But Joe
Interlapping.
Montana was also in that
Yeah.
Favre time frame as well,
Exactly.
right?
But I think
Dan
I
Marino,
think
too.
Dan
I think-
Marino.
And Dan Marino.
but Dan
was a-
Marino was a little bit before Favre's
Yes.
timeline,
I
about 10 years.
I feel so bad
But
for
he played up
Marino.
until 2000, I thought.
Marino
Yeah.
should have won something.
Yeah, he did. But what I'm saying is,
He was the first quarterback
But
to ever
when
go
was
in the
he
Hall of Fame
drafted?
without winning a Super Bowl.
Yep.
but he was drafted 83.
Yeah.
And Favre was what, 92, 93?
I think so.
I think 92, 93. I think he joined the
Yeah.
Packers. He was 9 years later. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
you got someone watching him in the NFL who was just born like me, Brett Favre, but Marino was already in.
Yeah.
Generation, right?
You can maybe
I know generations like
Jim
25
Kelly
years.
was
or-
sprinkled in there because he did play some good football.
and but, like Staubach, right?
Mhm.
Staubach was great for his time, right?
Otto Graham.
Bart
Uh,
Starr was great.
Yeah, Favre was drafted by the Falcons in the 91
Yep.
draft.
91. Okay, that's what it was. And 93, he went to the Packers.
I know he was drafted by
92.
92,
He
he
was
went to the
traded
Packers.
to the Packers in February
Yeah, you got
92.
Otto Graham.
And then 94, he made the Super Bowl, right?
97.
Frank Tarkenton.
Oh, it was 97. I think it was that
97,
much
yep. He was led the Packers to Super Bowl 31 win in 97.
Man, my timeline's off. I'm
And
old.
then next year, I think they led him to again, but then he lost to the Broncos.
Yes, they
I do
lost to
believe.
John Elway, who won back to back, I think.
Yeah.
So the Packers went back to back, lost the second one, and then the Broncos went back to back and won both.
Yep.
And then they didn't do
Yep.
nothing until Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I really
although,
think
Although I
Hey.
wonder if Mr. Google knows this. We know this.
Yes.
Jay messaged me and Carl, and I already knew this because he saw that. Who's the only Broncos quarterback drafted by the Broncos to win a playoff game?
Only Bronco drafted by the Broncos to win a playoff game.
Yeah,
I'm
quarterback that is drafted by the Broncos.
going to go with Tim Tebow.
Yep. Because
Absolutely
Elway
correct.
wasn't drafted by him. Obviously, Peyton wasn't drafted.
Elway was drafted by the Colts, but he said, either you trade me away or I'm going to play baseball.
So the only in our
You
lifetime.
mean to tell me Osweiler didn't win one?
Hell no,
So
dude.
I don't know what quarterback.
Ashwater?
Yeah. So the only quarterback outside of those three that have won a playoff game for the Broncos was in the 70s before you two were ever born, and I was a year old. So that was when the Broncos lost to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So we're not going to talk about that, but we are because I don't know who that quarterback was, but or if they ever or where he came from. So
Where did you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay. But no,
I remember
good story,
like,
bro. Yeah, I got
I
it.
remember like
That
other
was terrible.
quarterbacks back in the day,
I'm
like
saying,
the
it's like I don't know where he came
50s,
from.
It's awful for
60s,
combat.
and
Awful
the
for
early
content.
70s, like Frank Tarkenton, Otto Graham,
All right, let's look.
Staubach,
Bobby
though,
Lane.
Staubach.
Bart Starr was
Yeah.
good for his time, right? These
Yeah, he's
people-
probably that generation's quarterback.
Can you say Broadway Joe?
Yeah,
Great, but
he was more overhyped and overrated because he brought New York, that they're those underdog, but he's also one of the have the quarterback in the Hall of Fame and have one of the worst TD to interception ratios ever.
here's something. I guess we're pretty much done with the big board, but I want to bring this up too. It's going to bring in the NFL here shortly. What two franchises have been absolute garbage most of their lives, most of their existence, except for a few years and a Super Bowl win and maybe some appearances? Jets is one of them.
And is it a Super Bowl appearance?
They won a Super Bowl and had another one.
Raiders.
No.
Not the Raiders.
Raiders only got one.
No, they got three.
3 Super Bowls?
I'll give you a hint. Their
They got
fans,
two old
their fans
firsts.
are big historians because
Huh?
they live in the past. Their fans are big historians because they live in the past.
Cowboys?
No,
No, not the Cowboys. I would go. Buffalo never won one though.
No.
the Bears.
Oh,
Oh,
Bears.
yeah.
They've
back to
they've been
85?
guard. Yeah, they won in '85, and that's all they can talk about.
Yeah.
And then now they won against the Packers. Beatsy when Packers started getting hurt. That they think, hey, we own the Packers now. No, you lost 11 straight
What
against
was
the
that?
Packers. We still own you. Every once
We
in a
had
while,
a comment, but I can't read.
every
Can't read.
once in a
Well,
while.
now far away my eyesight is
So
shot.
Tory. That's what he
Troy.
said was Tory. But
Torrey
yeah,
Aikman.
Troy Aikman. Yes.
I don't know if he was a generational.
I don't consider him. I know he won 3 Super Bowls, but I don't consider him
but he
generational
wasn't even
because
the star on those teams.
he wasn't.
No,
but
he
also at the same, I mean, he was a good quarterback, right? An
Yes.
elite quarterback, but I don't think he was generational. And he's my quarterback, right? Because those are the Super Bowl teams I remember from my childhood.
Again,
Question mark.
around his generation,
Right.
Joe Montana.
Right. So I don't. Joe Montana was generational though, by far. He was an unbelievable quarterback.
Yeah.
The things he could do. But I don't think Troy Aikman is just because.
Well, Joe Montana is also always in the topic of greatest of all time too.
Right. Joe Montana is always. He should be.
See, Joe Namath, like I said, is a Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer. He has 173 touchdowns in his career to 220 interceptions.
Now that's
Yeah.
a guy who's a gunslinger.
No. Craig Morton. Craig Morton was the quarterback for the Broncos
Why does
in the
Craig
77.
Morton sound familiar?
I don't know.
You know how many interceptions he threw in 1 year?
25.
28.
Close enough.
And he did that twice.
Hall of Fame. So maybe Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's
Maybe. I
that's-
think Nathan Peterman is going to be in Hall of Fame going based on interceptions.
So here's some here's some irony for you. Craig Morton was originally drafted by the Cowboys in 1965. And then 9 years later, he had a quarterback controversy between him and Roger Staubach. And then the teams met in the Super Bowl the next year, and Staubach beat him in the Super Bowl, and then Roy Morton disappeared.
Morton, that was the quarterback of the Broncos.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where the
Craig
Cotton Eye Joe go. Well, he disappeared.
Yep.
He got murdered by Staubach
Basically, yeah.
in the game. In the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Cowboys did.
Not like actual murder.
Hey, he's still kicking. He's 81.
So anyway, I think it's time to do the plug here.
Yeah, let's plug away.
All right,
All right.
Mr. Google, plug
I
us
gotta
away.
plug myself. All right. So today's episode is brought, or Today's episode is brought to you by B&L Creative Designs. For all your woodworking and laser engraving needs, we make everything from cutting boards to cribbage boards. We make Wahoo boards. We make, for you military folk, we make hail and farewell or retirement gifts, shadow boxes.
For the coins.
Yeah, we make coin holders. On the other end, we make my wife, or the B&L makes bracelets. We've got our bracelets here, prayer bracelets for her cancer fight, or regular. She can make rosary bracelets. She also makes T-shirts. Look at these wonderful boys and their T-shirts. These wonderful morons and their moronic T-shirts.
Get our faces on your shirt.
Absolutely. Put their faces across your chest.
Bosoms.
There you go.
Across your bosoms.
Across your moobs. But we also make shirts for companies, or if you need T-shirts for your sports or for your family reunion. You're gonna go to Disney or you're gonna go on a cruise, and you need a family reunion shirts. Or what the hell are you doing over there? You're throwing me off. Anyway, also we have a Etsy page, BL Creative Design Shop. Go there. We've got our bracelets there. We've got earrings there, all kinds of stuff. Give us a message. We can make almost anything. So just give us a shout. I'm not making furniture. That stuff's ridiculous, but I will do other things. So if you need, for all your woodworking needs, give us a shout. Contact Zach, contact Jake, contact the 3 Morons Pod Facebook page, or get on our Etsy page at BL Creative Design Shop. What?
He said, might text you back.
Yeah, Jake might.
So Baltimore just scored.
Oh, yeah?
Quick. So Derrick Henry scored, and I was definitely thinking about putting money down on him anytime touchdown. I was like, nah. But of course he's going to score.
No, when you said family reunion, I thought of the segment from Wild and Out who reintroduced it
At the family reunion, yeah. Hilarious.
So,
but yeah,
all right.
So good plug.
Thank
Go
you
to
very
them.
much.
Also, it's not really a plug. I want to throw this out there for something that we should talk about. I'm going to throw it out there now. Maybe it'll go through. We all know One Bite knows the rules. Everyone knows the rules. Pizza Review, Barstool Sports, right?
Yeah.
Dave Portman. There's a guy in Iowa who does pork tenderloin sandwiches, goes around and checks everywhere that sells pork tenderloin sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Tries
I
them.
see what stuff.
He was on Fred's pork tenderloin sandwich as big as your damn face.
Damn.
I think we should do wings.
What?
I mean, I'm down.
Like a wing rating review. Start in Iowa, local, and kind of rate their wings and see how they are, and do like a little filming there, like on the phone and stuff that you would normally do, and then post it for podcasts for more content.
We can do that.
I love wings.
I'm
Why
down.
not?
Yeah.
I mean, I like rings.
I wish we could do barbecue and brisket, but that had to be a Texas thing because there
Yeah.
ain't much around here.
Nope.
Speaking of, if you're in the Iowa area, please go to Davies before they close. Great food, great barbecue. Try them out.
Yeah.
If you haven't.
I have a little history tidbit. Do you guys know what famous inventor invented the electric chair?
The electric chair? Wasn't that Thomas Edison?
Yes, because he was trying to deter people from using alternative currents.
Yep.
He was trying to.
I knew it was
disprove
Thomas
Tesla.
Edison, but I was trying to think of a smart, like, just name wordplay.
He was
to
trying
do.
to disprove like Tesla and his use of
AC current. Yep.
Yeah.
He used DC because DC fucking just kills you dead. And so that's why the electric chair was built. Yep.
Man, I thought it would be a better story than that.
Useless knowledge.
Hey,
So,
shit, I remember.
No, it's good stuff, man.
so it
That's
leads
good
us
stuff.
to the NFL, though. The useless knowledge leads us to more useless knowledge about the NFL. And this is what we're going to talk about Justin Herbert. This is what brought us up on that conversation. 4 interceptions today.
Yep.
God awful. A blocked extra point
Oh,
for
my God.
2 points for
Yep.
Houston.
Yep. And then Digger the kicker got murdered on the field.
Yeah, it was because you could run into the kicker if you touch the ball.
Yep.
It was not good for the Chargers, and we all picked the Chargers on that one.
Yep.
But again, the way Houston was playing near the end,
Yep.
Chargers looked like they had everything going.
Yeah, they didn't come in like they had any
Maybe their thoughts
heat.
are on at home.
maybe.
I mean, that's all I can think of. Maybe they're more worried about everyone going at home because every day the fire is growing. Which, by the way, our prayers are out to LA and their family in
Yeah.
California and everyone on the front line, all the firefighters
Yeah.
out there. Keep doing your thing. You got my support. I know
Yep.
Grunt Style right now. If you go on gruntstyle.com, they're doing shirts for like frontline firefighters.
yep.
I don't know if they give them the shirts if it's for you to buy it and read it all the way, or if you buy that firefighter shirt,
Yeah.
the proceeds go to firefighting.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure. If I would buy it if it went to that.
I'm sure the profits go there.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the profits. If I bought the shirt and they just get that firefighters,
Right.
to donate to them, I'll
Oh,
give it
okay.
to them because I'm not a firefighter. I don't want to wear a firefighter shirt, but I would buy it and then give it to a firefighter maybe.
Yeah.
Hearts and prayers with them. Anyone who's not famous, celebrity, not getting mentioned, we're with you too, because there's like 90-year-old parents who are lost their house insurance because they couldn't afford it anymore, and now their nurse of a daughter had to break the state of emergency to check on them to make sure they're fine.
Right.
Because if they lose their house, where are they going to go? They're 90 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, our thoughts are with the celebrities and famous people. Don't get me wrong, but there's more than just those people affected. That's like 3% of the people losing their homes. Maybe 4% of the people losing their home is famous people.
Yeah.
Not rich, famous.
Right.
Most of them are probably rich in that area, but someone loses their home, and next door is not a famous person; it's just a rich person.
Right.
It's just, even if you go, well, they have the money, they're rich, or this. Just think about other stuff that they're losing.
Yeah.
Memories, pictures,
Sure.
everything.
Yep. Those are just things.
So maybe that's why LA's thinking about that. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the Monday game got moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't they move it to Minnesota? Well, Minnesota doesn't get a home field game. So
Nope.
I understand it's neutral site now, but you can't just move it to Minnesota because you want to. They didn't get a home field game. You can't do that.
Should have moved it to Dallas. At least then we could have a playoff game at home. And
someone will win in
can
Dallas.
have more playoff wins in that stadium you guys have in this century.
yes,
That's not the point.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I just want to see my stadium utilized
Hey, it was utilized.
Win's a win.
it was
by a winning
utilized-
team.
It was utilized yesterday.
Cotton Bowl game.
It was at AT&T.
That was at AT&T. We didn't play the actual Cotton Bowl.
No,
That's some horse crap.
that's what I said. I was like, wait a minute.
You call it
I
the Cotton
understand you
Bowl.
can put more people there.
Yeah,
But
but
why is that AT&T and not at the Cotton Bowl?
yeah, play it at. If you're gonna call it the Cotton Bowl, play it at the Cotton Bowl. Otherwise, say you're playing at AT&T Stadium.
I was
Yep.
like, why
Anyway.
did they
And
play the
Texas
Cotton
the Texas team still couldn't win there.
Bowl?
You know what? I don't
Hey.
like you right now.
I'm mad because I had never won a national championship
I
pick.
mean,
I
hey,
know,
if
but-
you really want to see your Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl,
Go play Madden.
Go
yes,
watch.
go pop in a 1993.
Go watch a
tape.
VHS tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I took a tour of a nursing home today for my cooking job, and the TV had a VHS. I was like, oh man, this brings back some memories.
Yeah. Bill could watch the Super Bowl.
Those pop in a
Championships for the Cowboys.
1993
It was also a
Super Bowl
VHS.
That was a good
DVD.
one too, man. That was a good one. I watched that one
It was
live.
a VHS DVD actual combo.
Yeah. I was so for 93, I watched Dallas beat San Francisco. We were at I forget the name of the joint, but it was like an old cookies up.
Oh,
Mrs. Google is wonderfully bringing us some cookies.
I'm getting too fat, but I don't care.
No, you're not getting fat. We need cookies.
Shut up.
Oh, Mrs. Google, you are amazing. Thank you, Mrs.
I think everyone
Google.
just heard that.
I don't care.
Oh, they're hot too, guys. Get them while they're hot. All right, everybody. Smell-o-vision. We wish. Thank you very much, dear. Mwah. Love you.
Thank you.
Sorry for our one viewer, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. If we had smell-o-vision in your life, it'd be amazing. Jax, get out of here.
No, it'd be
dogs.
horrible because it's smell-o-vision, but he wouldn't be able to have
Yeah.
any.
Yeah, he's underneath the table. Get out, dog. Good boy. How are they?
Very good.
Good. Oh man, she brought us a bunch too. Oh guys, y'all just don't know what you're missing. This is the entertainment portion of the show.
Yes, it is.
So that being said, right?
They beat 49ers.
Yeah, they beat the Niners. I watched it at a pizza joint with a bunch of folks from church, and it was a lot of fun watching them beat those Niners. Man, we were jumping up and down, hooping and hollering, and then watching the Super Bowl a couple weeks later. It was a lot of fun.
You know what Super Bowl I remember like yesterday?
1997.
Nope.
Oh wait, you weren't born yet.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
God.
2002, right?
2003.
Oh, yeah. I made you older.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
He doesn't remember what two towers.
Speaking
were.
of multi-generations.
he doesn't remember two towers.
Yeah.
We learned that shit in school.
All right. We've been a little bit distracted with cookies here, folks.
No, but the Super Bowl I remember is the Packers Steelers,
Yep.
2009. I
Mhm.
was like, the boat.
Yep. That was Bettis' last game, wasn't it?
I think no, I don't know if it was Ben's last game.
Bettis.
Bettis.
Oh, Bettis.
Jerome
Yeah,
Bettis.
they said Ben's last game.
No.
Plus,
Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
Super
Well,
Or no, 40. Sorry. Super Bowl 40.
50 was the one. Hey, at least I actually got to watch my team win a Super Bowl this century.
Oh, well,
Hey, at least he got to see his team win, while he was alive. So that's okay.
there you go.
But yeah, I remember because I was on the boat cooking in the middle of the night, watching the game
Yeah.
and hearing all the officers, because I was an officer master. They
Yep.
invited me to watch it with them because we were not
Hey,
cooking the
Jake,
food.
by the way, Jerry Jones is not going to outlive me. He's going to die, and we're going to put a team together, and we're going to win a Super Bowl again in my lifetime. Thank you.
When you're like 85?
Hey, still in my lifetime.
Hey, first of all,
Fair enough.
we should have a Deadpool, and Jerry Jones will be on Bill's Deadpool every year.
Yep.
Mr.
Top of
Google.
his list. That's you.
He's like, oh, we get 3: Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones for the third time.
No, but the third one will be Joe Biden.
yeah. Jerry Jones, and Joe Biden.
Jerry Jones, but Joe Biden.
I know. I shouldn't joke like that. I'm the FBI maybe on my front doorstep tomorrow morning.
For which one, Biden or
Probably both.
Jones? Jones found the fountain of youth.
By the way, FBI, that was a
Smart
joke.
ass be like, hey, you guys want a cup of coffee?
Yeah. YouTube, that was a joke. So please don't cancel us for
So
that.
the rest of the playoffs, though, we got tomorrow. The noon game, I believe, is Bills and Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Bills and Broncos. That's gonna be a tough one for you, Jake. Probably.
I'm so proud for my Broncos. I'm just proud
Oh
that
yeah,
we made
yeah.
the
You know what?
playoffs.
You know what? I know we'll get to our picks later.
Took us
And
to the
to
last
me,
game to
it was
clinch.
like, do I want to go with who I think is gonna win, or do I want to support Jake? And I ended
Yeah.
up going with who I think is gonna win. But you know what? Even if the Broncos win, I'm not gonna be mad about our picks because I'm so happy for you. Because at least one of our teams we know will win. Then the next one is the Packers and Eagles. Now this game's like a 7-point spread.
Yeah.
They played in the beginning of the year, and Packers are better than what they were then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eagles are also a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just
But
don't put 'em
remember,
on the-
Jalen Hurts is coming back from injury.
Yep.
Yeah, just don't put him on the slip and slide field.
So they're gonna play Cooper DeJean. I know a lot of people in the area are gonna be watching it for Cooper DeJean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's playing from what I heard from people a person or so who went to school with him. His team was the Packers that he liked. So he's gonna play against the team that he grew up watching, which is always a cool story. But
Yeah.
let's see if he can make like a game-winning interception or something. Like if he
Right.
makes the game-winning interception, I'm gonna be mad my Packers lost, but at the same time, I'm happy for the kid.
Yeah.
Right?
See, when my Broncos playing the Bills, I'm not gonna be mad if they lose because
It's expected.
it's expected, but I also want them to win. But I'm just glad we made the playoffs because I had no expectations of them
Mhm.
making the playoffs this year.
With a rookie quarterback
So
who a lot of people didn't think was going to be all that amazing.
Oh
in
no,
the
Yeah.
NFL,
because
and
they
he's
said
done
that
pretty
we
good.
reached with that pick. We reached with the 12th round.
And
pick.
isn't he looking like rookie of the year?
Yeah, it's coming down to him, Jane Daniels, and Brock Bowers.
no, Joe Burrow will get it.
Rookie of the year. Jane Daniels might get it though. He's
Yeah.
played lights out, and that brings us to the next game. The
And-
Commanders and the Buccaneers is the night game.
Yeah.
And that to me is gonna be the best game of the night.
and
Right.
true
Because-
Broncos fashion, they waited to the last game to clinch.
Hey, look.
Yeah, clinch is a clinch, man.
Hey, they
we beat the Chiefs B team.
Yeah, well,
Look,
no,
look,
it's their
look,
C team.
they brought in a third string quarterback from South Dakota State that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, Chris
Well, yeah.
Overly Duncan.
That clown was on their practice squad.
squad.
And they signed him for one game. Get out of here, man.
Carson
Yeah.
Wentz wasn't even working out.
Yeah.
And
No.
this is all
Carson-
their backups, by the way. They couldn't even muster a point against our defense.
Well, they thought Carson
They
Wentz
had
probably
to-
would be better.
Yeah.
So like everyone was pointing out, like, okay, so is their backups being squashed, but this also pointing out, do they not have good depth if one play goes
They
down?
probably have
Mm.
decent depth, right? They probably have decent depth. Here's the thing. The Broncos were just trying that much harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't go in that game going, oh, we're playing the B team. They went in, we're dominating.
Oh yeah.
They,
We're winning this
'cause
game.
they didn't want to go through and go, oh, we're just playing their B team and then end up getting beat.
Yeah.
Because Dolphins lost, didn't they? To the Jets?
I think
think
they
the Dolphins
did.
lost.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
they
sure,
did.
So the Dolphins lost. If they would have just went in there thinking, we got this and
Yeah.
didn't win, we have the Bengals in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they went in there and go, we are going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to play our game.
Yep.
Sean, because their coach is Sean Payton. You
Mhm.
know he's going in there like, we're going to play our game because guess what? We got a playoff game next week. And we're going to play. We're going to play right. I don't care who this team is. It's still an NFL team.
Mhm.
You're going to go in there. You're going to execute. You're going to get the job done.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. I understand the other team didn't
Right.
score. And yeah, you have depth. But here's the thing. The Broncos went in there to make a statement. And they did say, we're not slacking. We're playing because we got to get ready for the following week. 'cause
What
we're playing the
statement did they
Bills."
make? They
No, the statement was, we're playing,
we
right?
can beat
We beat you guys' B team.
we can
like,
beat a top tier college team. I mean, really, that's
There-
really what
no.
they were looking at.
That's what Sean Payton was saying, though. Like, we got to make a statement, meaning we're not going to come here to show, oh, we barely survived the B team. We want to
Yeah.
go
See,
in there
the
and make a
thing
statement
is
that we
that
belong in the
I
playoffs.
follow
Bengals
you.
won the day before, so they had to make. So for them to make it, we had to lose.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. They didn't want to go in there thinking we got this in the bag, right?
Yeah.
Sean Payton's message is let's make a statement. That's what his message was. Because he
Yeah.
didn't want them to make mistakes because you're playing the B team and
Right.
go through like we're walking through the game.
I'm just
That's what I mean by
yeah.
make a statement. Not
And I'm-
let's make a statement and put up 100.
Right.
We're making a
And-
statement, meaning
There-
with
there was
ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not
24
mad at the
nothing
Broncos.
halftime.
I'm not mad at the Broncos. I'm mad at the Chiefs because they made. I don't care if it's a nothing burger of a week 18 game.
Could have played your starters for a quarter.
It's for something. Even just
Here's how I look
Even
at
a
it.
snap.
you made it shitty for the fans. And you know what?
Also, I think it
That
was also like a
sucks.
true FU to Joe Burrow and the Bengals because they sat their starter.
Yeah.
Because they know that Broncos had to lose. And instead of playing their starters to win
Right. How much did those fans pay to go see that football game?
and just saw the B team.
Right. And they see nobody play.
And they saw Kelsey, Mahomes, and all the starters
Not even
in
dressed.
and like dressed, not even in like Chiefs gear,
Yeah.
Well,
like
here's-
sweats on the sideline.
Yeah, here's how I look at it, and what I think should have happened. You're the Chiefs. You have a chance to keep a divisional opponent out of the playoffs. How do you not do it? Because if you
Yep.
unless
I-
someone gets seriously injured, like if Pat Mahomes would have got seriously injured, we're talking how they should have benched everyone. But if someone starts getting hurt like the Packers did against the
Yeah.
Bears, right? They started getting injuries. They're like, you know what? It don't matter anymore. We
Mhm.
want our people healthy because we're playing
Yep.
next week. You get a little injury, you still have a week to recover.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have a chance to kick the Broncos out of the playoffs.
Mhm.
Now, here's
Yes.
my thing. Are they that scared of Joe Burrow and the Bengals
That's what
offense?
my thing is that
Mm.
who is Patrick Mahomes truly kryptonite in the playoffs?
Not only truly kryptonite, but when the Bengals played them early in the season, they got close to winning.
Yeah.
You already got to outlast the Ravens and the Bills, who have great offenses, and you know your defense ain't up there.
Yeah.
Now you got a fourth team in the playoffs you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Let's take it back, and that's what they did.
I
I
Yeah.
think that's why they truly
Toss one
benched
like
their
division
starters.
rival
Is
Yeah,
or
but-
someone that was able to beat
who
Joe.
do we want in the playoffs more? Right,
Right.
The Bengals. Well, could have been the Dolphins, but you look at it. Do we
Bengals
want the
that
Bengals or
beaten us
possibly
before?
the Dolphins and the Broncos? Right. Well, when the
Right.
Dolphins lost earlier in the day, well, now it's the Broncos. We want the Broncos in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they have to do is win. We want them in because if they somehow beat the Bills, right?
Right.
Anything can happen. Now we get the Broncos because they're the worst seed.
Right. But
And then
again,
we get a rematch and
Anything
we're going to
can happen
dominate.
on
Right.
playoffs.
But
Look at Lamar Jackson's first MVP year. I think they were like the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed.
Look at the Packers, one of the
Number
worst.
2 seed. They played, I think, the 7th seed.
The Packers were a 6 seed and won the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Oh,
It just-
number 1 seed in the second round. They played the Titans.
Right.
They got bounced.
Yeah.
It just sucks to me for the fans, right? More than anything else. Like,
Oh yeah,
I care less about the rest of it, but
Yeah.
they're getting paid to play the game or to sit on the bench, whatever. But to me, there are people that paid money that they probably didn't have to go see that football game because they had a chance,
Mhm.
and they don't even play the starters that these
and
guys
then
want to
yeah,
see.
well, then you look at the stars aren't playing, right? Because when they buy the tickets, it's months in advance. You
Right.
don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You
Right.
know it's the end of the season. You know possibly they're not going to play.
Right.
So maybe the ticket prices are a little bit cheaper than maybe some other time.
Right.
But you got to realize it's a divisional game.
Yeah.
You don't know if the stars are going to play. So a ticket, say one of the cheap tickets, are
Mhm.
normally $450 for that game, right?
Yeah.
But because it's the last game of the season, it's still probably $350
Right.
versus you're playing the Giants at Arrowhead. That game could be $200
Yeah.
because you got no names on the Giants you're paying for.
Right.
Yeah, you got no name for the Broncos that you're paying for, but you're paying because you're still paying for Pat Mahomes in Arrowhead and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep.
But instead of $250, it's $450 because it's the divisional game.
Right.
Yeah.
Divisional games are always jacked up. Now, if it was the Raiders or something more of a rival of the Chiefs,
Right.
because Chiefs' biggest rivals are, is it the Broncos or is it the Raiders?
Who, the Chiefs?
Everyone hates the
Let's
Chiefs in the
just
division.
Go
That's
in
not,
this what if scenario. Let's just say my Broncos end up beating the Bills. They automatically will face the Chiefs because they're the 7th seed. Number 1 seed automatically this is the lowest seed.
right.
So either way, they would face them again if they beat the Bills.
Yeah.
And I'm still unhappy about the fact that they didn't play their stars.
Yeah.
Just should at least play for. I think the NFL will come out and do something about that
I doubt it.
for rules, but the owners have to agree to it.
Right,
Yeah,
but the NFL
see-
also wants to protect their players, and that's a business
Coaches
decision.
want to protect
Right.
the players.
That was a business decision, not a football decision.
See, the thing is, after the Broncos won that last game of the season, a bunch of analysts came out saying, "Oh, since this 18th game is just stupid. Oh, if they're just going to sit their starters," I'm like, "Yeah, you have a point." But they've also like, if they have nothing to play for, then why play them?
You know who else doesn't have anything to play for? The Jets. Aaron Rodgers still playing.
Yes.
You know who else didn't have anything to play for? Like these teams that weren't making the playoffs
Yeah.
still played their
Yes.
stars. The Bears still played their starters against the Packers.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Even
And-
though,
And look at what happened to the Packers. Did you see
Yeah.
Watson's gone for next year?
yeah.
He tore his ACL.
Really?
Yeah.
He tore his
He's done.
ACL. Non-contact injury went down. So
Oh,
we
did you
don't have him
see,
for the playoffs, and we don't have him next year.
Speaking,
And that's a deep threat who could go down the field
Yep.
and catch the ball when he plays.
Yep.
you see
We
Massad's
lost him.
watching ruptured his Achilles again.
Yep, out for next year too, probably.
Did he really?
Yeah, he ruptured it again. After
He needs to be done.
Him
after
and Tua.
having surgery to repair the one he ruptured it again.
And he's gonna miss all next season.
It's time to go home.
He said that they said he probably will not be in for next season.
He-
If I'm Cleveland, I would take a fucking quarterback in that second pick.
at that point, you start worrying about, am I going to be able to walk when I'm 50? Right? Because that's where he's at. He's in a position where,
Look at Terry Bradshaw. Look,
Yeah.
he can barely walk.
Let
Yeah.
me
He has no knees.
I want to be on the record in saying this.
okay,
I heard it on the Ben Maller show when they signed Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
and I was totally on board. You deserve everything you get when you get him.
Yep.
Ha ha ha. Couldn't happen to a better franchise.
well,
And it's not because they signed him for what he did. It's, hey, you're going to get suspended for the first year we got you. So let's put all your money after the first year. So you're only going
Right.
to get paid $1 million and lose on $1 million.
right,
You deserve it because you guys are complete a-holes
yeah,
because you protected his money.
yeah,
He did something wrong. Give him the $30 million or whatever it was, $40 million his first year too, and let him miss out on $40 million.
Yeah.
Not just $1 million. So
Yeah.
you know what? Anything that happened to you since then, you deserve.
yeah.
So now you're out, not because he got hurt, but he might not play again. You're out all that guaranteed money you gave him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ha ha ha. Sucks to suck.
So,
It sucks to be him because again, you don't want to wish injury on anyone.
right.
I'm just laughing at the organization because they went to protect him and it has bitten him in the butt every single year
I-
because they have been horrible since he got.
I feel terrible for Browns fans, right? First
The
off,
fans, I'm not mad at. It's
No,
the
I know that.
organization.
I know that's what I'm saying. I feel bad for the
I
fans.
feel bad.
I
For,
feel bad for
because-
because they had a great quarterback in Baker
Well,
Mayfield.
You know
Look,
why I
just
feel bad
think
for
about
them?
the entire thing, right? Think
they
about
can't,
the-
they can't go to the beach like San Diego could. Right?
yeah,
Like,
true. But think about the whole holistically the Browns, right? And I think I'm thinking I believe I'm thinking about the correct team. They took their team away from them in the middle of the night, moved them to another
Yep.
city,
Cleveland,
Mhm.
Baltimore.
right? About 15 years later, they get a team back.
No, you had that wrong. That was Baltimore Colts to Indianapolis.
Oh, it's Baltimore. Okay.
But
Disregard.
they
Well,
did
then,
take them team to Baltimore.
Right.
but you see where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
I feel bad for their fans than the way that this franchise has ever treated them. You know, Cleveland has never been good, and I got it. It's small town or small market team, right? Cleveland's not a big market team, but those fans love the Browns. The Brown Pound or whatever they call it,
Dog pound.
Dog Pound. Thank you. I
That's a
didn't know-
different meeting.
It is a
Different
Different podcast. That's
a-
after dark.
That's a different
That's
podcast.
3 more hours after
But
dark.
yeah, there you go. But I those fans love
Delilah.
that team. They love that
Delilah
team,
after
and
dark.
yeah, and that team keeps punching them in the face. Right? There's a reason why they're the first team that they had the meme for that said, when I die, I want the Browns players to take me to put me in the ground because I want them to look down one last time. They're the original team for that meme.
I mean, they're the original paper bag over their heads.
No, that was the Saints. Oh, doggo.
Oh, the other morons came in. I think.
Go 0-16.
Yeah.
No, it was a second team.
Yeah. So
Detroit was.
right, but I mean the Browns, they've just treated that team like crap, and it really bothers, or not the team, but the fans like crap, and it just bothers the hell out of me. When it comes to professional sports, I know that it's a money making profession and all these things, but I believe that the fans should have more of a
Say,
yeah, more. Well, they should be taken. They should take their what they want more into consideration than most anything else. I know I don't know a good way to articulate that. I just think fans get the short end of the straw in this whole thing when it comes to players, when it comes to teams and how they run the team.
if you don't touch your mic like 50 million times, nothing will be falling off.
Well, if you
So
look
anyway.
at the mic stand, it was not only half.
It was fine before you freaking started moving stuff.
So all right, so that's the NFL.
Oh.
It looks like we're gonna have a good week. Actually, there's probably some really good games coming up this week.
And then,
I think.
and then Vikings Rams.
Right, Vikings Rams. Yep.
So
that's gonna
those
be another
those
good
are the
one.
games, and then next week obviously we'll know the matchups and stuff because
Right.
they reseed, which college football needs to look into next year.
Yeah.
And then we got for the national championship for college football. I'll do one more.
Right.
Did you have two?
I had 3.
Okay,
I had 5.
I had one. So for college football, we got Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Right. We all had Texas, I think, except you.
I had
did
Ohio State.
You did have Ohio State.
I just knew that Ohio State was gonna win. I'm sorry.
I mean, when you pay $20 million, sure, cheaters.
When you build a roster with millions of dollars of NIL money, yeah.
Still less than a starting quarterback, but anyway. So, but for the NFL,
watching.
it should be a good playoffs. I think we all agreed on tonight's games.
Yeah.
Right, tomorrow, the rest of the week we're a little bit different. I got the picks written down and everything. We'll go over that. We're a little bit different on those, and we'll get Mr. Google's opinion on those. But for college football, this is the big talk I want to talk about now. So we got Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I brought up is we talked about should Notre Dame go to a conference to get one of the 4 buys, all this stuff. Hold on. I know where we're going with this. You know exactly where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Too,
I have a point.
So I don't think they will. For one, I think they're going to get rid of, because someone made a good point in college basketball. Do the higher seeds automatically conference champions? No. Winning your conference championships means you're going to get into it.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you could be number 12 seed.
Right.
You could be a 16 seed and win a conference.
Mm-hmm.
So winning your conference, the Power 4, and then maybe one at large for the conference, right? So 5 conference champions usually make it, right? You got the Power 4, and then you got one of the higher ones, right?
Yeah.
Higher of the rest of the best. Because it used to be Group 5, now Group 6, whatever. Because the Pac-12 is no longer Power 4.
Mm-hmm.
So the Power 4 automatically get in, and then the 5th one will automatically get in. So you got 5 automatic conference champions get in automatically. So if the one sitting at say 13, you bump the 12 out. There you
Right.
go. They're not in because you're debating if they deserve to be in anyway. Usually.
Yeah.
So, but they don't deserve to be the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 because they all lost. Now
Yeah.
Oregon was a shock because that was a shock. But like
Yeah.
Arizona State, did you really think they're going to beat Texas?
Nope.
That was hard.
Well, it was a one hell
It was
of
a good game. They came back. I'm just saying, like SMU, right? Or not SMU, Boise State,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Boise
we
State did
think
not
it-
deserve a bye.
yeah,
No.
like Arizona State didn't deserve a bye.
No.
They were like 12 or 11.
So
Yeah.
I think yes, they're going to restructure how
So
they
Notre
do
Dame might get a bye.
how they do the sitting and everything next year. They are. I
They
think
have
already.
to because Notre Dame might get a bye. So if that
See,
happens,
my
you don't need to
opinion-
get a conference, but they're not going to get a conference because this is what we're going to bring up real quick.
See, my thing is
The money.
yeah, because the
15,
money
15 now goes to 20 because they made
I think it
the
went
national
from 10
championship.
to 20.
It was 10 or 15 to 20,
It's
but they get
15
20
million.
now. It's
Yeah.
15 million to make the
They
4
get
teams.
like how Ohio State get like a 1.1 million, and the rest gets distributed to the conference. But since
Texas has had to distribute theirs to the SEC,
but
and Penn State also had a share.
yes,
But
since
Notre Dame doesn't
have
have
a
to.
conference, they get all that money. That's their money.
And they're gonna put it right back in NIL,
Yeah, they're gonna
and
build
now
a
they can
roster.
build a better team
And
So
if they want to.
right, it
see,
will.
my thing is everyone's like, "Oh, Notre Dame football should be in a conference," and they're coming from Penn State fans. I'm like, look at Penn State. Penn State was independent up until 1993, and look how many national titles they came close to. None. They haven't been near a national title. They haven't won many conference titles.
So that begs an interesting question: Is are more teams going to consider going independent?
Does college allow them to go independent? They might not. They might look at this and go, okay, Notre Dame's the outlier. We can't force them into a conference, but we can make sure no one becomes independent anymore.
Okay, so you're telling me that if
They could. I don't know if that's what they're going to do.
sure, but if Texas decided to go independent
I think their biggest thing is that why
they
they're
can't stop them.
belly aching is that Notre Dame makes their own schedule. They have no set games whatsoever.
They can be cupcakes.
cherry pick what teams they can play and what teams they don't want to.
Yep.
That's what they're belly aching is that they basically cruise their way to the playoffs. And I'm like,
and
yes.
the committee shows, if you're playing cupcake teams and a couple ranked like USC,
I think they won. I think this year alone they beat 7, or including including Penn State. I think they beat 7 or 8 ranked teams. I mean, some of them was Army, Navy.
but they
Texas-
were ranked when they beat them,
Yes,
so it counts. USC,
Yeah,
they beat USC. They played USC
Texas
Texas
A&M.
again, but they get the pick, right? So we're gonna pick one of the good schools, but bottom of the top schools of the SEC,
Right.
Yeah.
bottom of the top schools of the Big Ten.
Yep.
And we're going to build our conference or our schedule to where we play maybe 3 or 4 ranked teams.
Teams between 25
So if we
and
could beat
15.
them, if we could beat
Mhm.
them, right? And they're not the top of their conference, but we could prove we could compete.
And
Right.
And then rest of them cupcake because the committee don't care if you play cupcakes.
Right.
They care about winning and you're in. But when they won these games, though, it's not like they were after NIU, they dominated.
Oh,
And
yeah.
did you hear what happened? NIU won. And the coach called Marcus Freeman and goes, "You want to know how we beat you? You want to know the weakness we exploited?" And Marcus Freeman took that call, listened to him, and then look at the rest of their games.
Yeah.
Besides the one close game with Louisville, they were dominating. Even the one in Indiana wasn't even that close.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this is I can't believe this is the first time it happened, but Marcus Freeman was the first black head coach to ever make a national title.
That dude is gonna do so much wonders for he's the next. He could be I don't think he's gonna be this guy, but what'd you call Penn State? Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno.
Yeah, Joe Paterno. He could be there forever and leave a great legacy.
Right.
Nick Saban. There you go.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's probably better.
I think he's going to be pulled out to the NFL in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's gonna stay like Joe Paterno did,
Yeah,
but he
Joe
could have
Paterno
be there
was there
forever.
from 66.
He's bringing
up
Notre
until
Dame into
2011,
relevancy.
I do
Yeah.
believe.
And then he died.
After a scandal broke out, then he died
So
72
so
days
Ryan
Yeah.
Day also saved his job.
later. Oh yeah, definitely.
Remember before the playoffs, everyone Ohio State fans were calling for his head because we
Because
can't
he
beat
couldn't
Michigan.
Couldn't beat Michigan, and he gets bounced out in the
And
playoffs in the first round.
And Nick said, but again, they were calling for his head before the playoffs started this
Oh, yeah.
year
Right.
because they couldn't beat Michigan. Did you hear what Nick Saban said? This guy has a chance to win you a national championship. How we stop this talk? Who cares if you don't beat Michigan?
Yeah.
It's about winning a title.
Oh yeah.
So
it's
here's my
about-
question. Did they let Ohio State's quarterback on the stage after the Texas game?
No.
Because they denied him after the
Yeah.
after the Rose Bowl.
I don't know if they did or not.
That
You
was
saw that when they denied Howard.
Oh my god. That was
They
was-
won that game against Oregon, and they wouldn't let Will Howard on the stage.
Wouldn't let him on the
The
stage.
security was like, "No." He's like, "I'm the quarterback." They wouldn't let him on
Nope.
the stage.
Wouldn't let him on the stage.
He's dressed in
Dude,
uniform.
I'm a quarterback.
He's like,
I'm
I got my
dressed.
stuff
You
on,
guys
my
see the rest
pads.
Yeah. I won this game.
I'm
Let-
here.
Yeah. Yeah. He won the game. I mean, he did a really good
He
job of
played
that
great.
game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it goes forward that we this NIL money, this reseeding. I think they
And-
need to rethink some of the playoffs. Like again,
There've always been arguments of like, oh, Notre Dame should join the conference, but I'm like,
why?
Well,
exactly
yeah.
why?
Especially now. My big thing is this, right?
Well,
I
now
don't-
this
They're-
next year. I think they will
Their
get rid
main
of.
complaint is that they can build their own schedule and they can't.
I think starting next year, they're gonna rethink the playoffs to where you're not gonna get automatic bye
Right.
if you won the conference. It's gonna go
Yes.
strictly on rank. Which if they did that this year, Notre Dame was 4, they would have got a bye.
Yeah.
Because you need the best team to get a bye. Just because you won your conference title doesn't mean you're the best team.
Oh yeah.
Like Arizona State was not one of the 4 top teams.
Well,
Yeah,
literally
so-
Boise State.
It doesn't matter. Excuse me. It does not matter how they structure the playoff setup. Nobody will ever be happy with it. It will never
No.
be good enough.
I just
for
think
the
we
fans.
need to make it to where
Hey,
the 4
at-
best teams get a bye.
hey, at
Like you do
least-
college basketball, the top teams, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, are the 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds.
See,
Yeah.
At least this playoffs is not as
Whether
big as
they
the
win-
FCS playoffs.
Whether they win their conference or not, the 1, 2, 3, 4 teams are
Mhm.
the 4-1 seeds.
Right.
Now, and when you're the true number 1, you get the easier bracket.
Right.
That's what needs to happen because Oregon did not get the easier team.
Mm-mm.
Now, granted, does it matter? No, you got to beat the teams in front of you for the number 1 team.
Right.
They need to also what they really need to do first before the conference. I think they do need to get rid of the conference
Yeah, you
champions
think
automatically to be
NCAA
top 4. But what they need to do is they need to do reseeding. They do need to do that because if you're the number 1 team, you should get the easier schedule.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know who the worst
Be
team left
Advantage to be
of
number one.
who was the worst team that made it to the next round that would have played Oregon. Was it Ohio State
the worst team? Yeah, because
or was Penn State one worse than Ohio State? Wasn't Penn State 10 or 11? Or were
both
they
had 2 losses.
were they because they lost to Oregon where they pushed back lower than Ohio State. But regardless, they need to beat the team in front of them, right? And we do need reseeding.
Yes.
But we'll figure out what they do next year. That's a next year issue.
At least this playoff bracket is not as big as FCS, which
What was like 34 teams?
so FCS is 24.
24. It's not bad.
So they have a bunch of like conferences, which is like I think like 10 or 11, and so all that conference champions are guaranteed a spot.
Right.
And I don't know how they seed. Now they have a new spot for conference champion next year. Is that they just made a rules that the Ivy League now gets a spot.
Good Lord. I think that
So we stop handing
So
out.
now they
Yeah.
have 12
don't think it
at-large
matters.
spots and 12 conference plays.
I don't think they should have 4 buys.
I don't think they
in the
have
playoffs.
24 freaking teams in a
Well,
football
They-
playoff.
FCS has been doing this for 4 years now. For 24
I understand, but is there really 24 teams in the FCS that has a chance?
Yeah.
Usually there's like 4.
So I don't think that
North
the
Dakota State since 2011 have won 10 out of the last 13.
Exactly. There's only like 4 teams that have a chance, and usually it's North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Who won this year, by the way?
Yeah,
You picked Montana.
Yeah, I picked Montana. I
picked
the
Montana?
Bobcats. Yeah, I picked Montana. I
Hmm.
picked the Bobcats.
So who do we think's going to win the national championship?
Notre Dame. I think they something different about them from the other teams that went to the other Notre Dame teams went to the national title before. I think this one's different.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to
finally
get
gonna
killed.
win. Huh?
I don't think they're going to get murdered, but I think the way Ohio State's playing is
I think Ohio State's playing lights out. That would be my pick.
that's my
Yeah,
pick. I think that's Carl's pick.
My thing is, I think it's going to be Notre Dame. I think it's how they've been playing and how they've been holding themselves ever since they lost to NIU, which everyone thought was a
I'm-
low blow, and everyone.
Yeah. I'm not convinced on Notre Dame's defense. 100%.
I'm
I
not-
am 100% convinced on Ohio State's
I'm not
defense.
convinced on Notre Dame 100% on offense or defense because
Mhm.
Jeremiah Love has been dealing with a knee injury. What
Oh, yeah.
happens if it re-aggravates, stuff like that. But I'm not convinced on them with Ohio State's defense.
Right.
Ohio State, I mean, they terrorized Quinn Ewers. So
Oh,
where
yeah.
I mean, look at they scored a touchdown and boom, Ohio's, they took the lead 14-7, and then boom, Ohio State scored immediately after and got the ball.
Oh yeah, I
back.
saw that. I'm like,
So it's like, oh, we're just
Yeah.
toying with you.
That was the strip score, right?
No, I
no,
think
that was a screen.
that was
play.
when it was
Hmm.
like I think that's how they got to
they
21.
scored 75 yards on a screen pass.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a Madden thing.
No, that was
Nope.
that's a real life thing now.
So, also real quick before we get the picks and everything like that, fantasy football recap. We're gonna do this now because punishment. My team sucked at a time they could not suck.
Nope. Nope. They, yeah.
Hey, you can laugh all you want, but you're gonna be doing a punishment too. Just with
I
me
know,
and Carl.
but hey, I don't have to do 2. I was looking
Yeah.
like that for a little bit,
Yeah,
but I
you-
had to do 2.
You were
You-
definitely
I
looking at
crawled back.
You're lucky you squeaked into the playoffs and Megan
Yeah.
didn't get it because you would have automatically took that punishment.
Oh,
and I would have
fuck
benched
yeah.
everybody like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't have to get first. I just had to beat you.
Yep.
What's it did?
Hey,
It's shocking because I was one of the front runners because my teams were playing great. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they're like, hey, we don't need to play football in the middle of the
And
season.
my
Yep.
team went up and
Hey.
your team went down.
How do you not get eaten by a bear in the forest?
How?
You got to be faster than your friend.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be
I
faster
don't
than
have
this
to be
guy.
the fastest one. I just have to be faster than you.
And
I'm
you're
just-
not faster than me in the forest.
I'm just
You
saying.
will if you have a broken fucking knee.
Okay, all right.
I gotta
That-
get to you.
you guys are taking my
gotta catch
analogy
me
in the
first.
wrong direction here.
You got to catch me first, too.
I'm saying that he beat you at the last minute,
Yeah, I know.
and that's what I'm talking about with bears. All you got to do is be the fastest of the two people.
But that was good. Congratulations.
Yeah,
So,
man.
Third place.
So, but after the picks, Mr. Google will put a name in a generator, not a name, but punishments in the generator and pull one for me and one for you.
Yeah.
We already got one for Carl. Well, you already got the one for Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carl, and we will film the punishments and
Are we
put them
gonna
on
do all
our
3
YouTube.
punishments at the same time?
No,
No,
they have to be done separately.
unless you want to do that taser punishment.
The
I don't know about taser punishment, but I like the dog collar one.
Yes, we're at the
dog collar on
drive-thru.
air.
Yes.
Dude,
Put that in the put that on the wheel.
all of a
I'll
sudden,
put it on
just
the
just
generator or
start
whatever.
twitching in the middle.
I think we should have about and anyone watching, whatever. Again, text us, comment on this video,
Yeah.
comment on our stuff. Let us or comment on our Facebook. Let us know some punishment ideas that you would like to see. I think we should do about if we could get up to 12,
I think 9 to 12 would be fun.
9 to 12. We'll
You
get.
guys will get to see a video of Carl wearing a dress and getting pelted with dodgeballs.
There you go.
Yeah, buy the who's buying the dodgeballs though?
I am.
Oh, he should buy the dodgeballs.
You
It's his
probably rent them.
punishment.
Probably rent them from the rec center,
Yeah, go see if you can get it at the rec center. Why not?
and also see if the high school lets you borrow one of those shooters,
Little,
No.
little base.
the one that shoots like footballs and stuff in. Yeah, you could
so
probably
I can launch it.
Just throwing it.
boom
Yeah. I'll get him a helmet.
and a cup.
So picks this week.
I just said a helmet. I didn't say anything about a cup.
All right, fair enough. Picks.
So picks this week. So the picks league right now is Jake's at 60 and 54.
Wow. it's
Me
got
and
some-
Carl both have 69, but Carl has 46 losses. I have 45.
He didn't pick one game.
No, he had the 2-pointer.
Oh, that's right.
That's why
That's
he has an
right.
extra win over me. Because if he didn't have that 2-pointer, you would take the 2 points off the win, and he'd be 67
68. Oh, okay.
or 68. Yeah, he'd
Yeah,
be
he's
68 and 46.
68 and 46, which you would have one more win.
Right. So because of that, he got
Yeah.
the 68, 69. So anyway, I have a better percentage. So right now I'm at first.
Okay.
So
I'm
This
crawling my
week's
way
game-
back slowly.
we had the Chargers. We all lost that one.
Chargers,
So
yes.
technically, you're 60 and 55.
Hey, better than what I had
69,
before.
46, and then Carl will be 69 and 47. We have the Ravens. We all have the Ravens.
We do.
Well,
Who are they? Oh, you three. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Steelers. Who would you
The
pick, Ravens or
Morons.
Steelers?
Honestly, between Ravens, Steelers, I got to go with the Ravens. I want the Steelers.
And they
but-
were up 14-0 last time I checked.
Oh, are they? Okay, I didn't even know that.
So tomorrow we have the Packers versus the.
Make that 21-0 with 11 minutes left third.
All right,
All right, 21-0.
loving it.
So tomorrow we have what? I've tried to do these in order, but when that came up in my phone, Packers came first because that's the team I follow.
It doesn't matter.
So Packers, Eagles. I picked the Packers. Carl also picked the Packers because we're Packer fans.
Mhm.
You picked,
The Eagles, because that's the most logical choice of winning.
and maybe that's why I didn't choose the Broncos because he didn't choose my team.
I don't know if I
Um,
agree with the most logical choice, but
But I just did because they're two pick the Packers. I'm like,
yeah,
He's like, I gotta catch up somehow.
I gotta
Yeah.
get some.
I think that's why you picked him because you need to catch up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you went with our teams to stay face, to like, oh, I'm gonna cheer for your team, you're never gonna catch up to us.
I haven't watched enough Eagles games to really be convinced of their defense, but I still think I think they've got a pretty good shot at beating the Packers.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go with the Eagles. Sorry, Zach.
And that's fine. And that is a
Sorry,
5,
Mrs. Google.
that is a 5-point spread. Now, I want to say this for the next game. It is a 9.5-point spread.
Good Lord.
So this gets your 2 points. And this is the Broncos Bills.
Broncos, Bills.
Broncos versus the Bills. So we know who you
Never
picked.
choose against my team. I
Exactly.
I
So
gotta
you
go with
chose
the
the
Bills.
Broncos.
Broncos till I die.
Me and Carl both picked the Bills.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Bills too. I'm sorry.
So if you win, you get 2 points. Remember that. But remember,
you're
you-
7 points back.
if
So
if you win, right, you get the 2 points. Just remember, you can still be ahead of me and still lose to me. Just
How does-
remember that. But that means you'll be Carl
I'm gonna
because
say, how does that work?
because of percentage.
Oh, you're going
Because
by
you got
percentage.
percentage at that point. Because you can't. If Carl and me have the same amount of wins, I still have a better percentage.
Right.
Because I have one less loss. So we both picked the Bills. And then we got the Commanders versus the Buccaneers. Now, at first, I chose the Buccaneers, but then because everyone was choosing Buccaneers, and I was like, yeah, I'm picking the Bucs. I'm like, wait, oh no, they're playing the Commanders. I wanted the Commanders.
Yeah.
I like what Jaden Daniels is doing. That defense could be pretty dang good.
Can
so I
be.
wanted they can, and I think they'll show up. I picked the Commanders.
Don't get me wrong.
Where's the game?
Tampa, but
Okay.
but Baker likes the
Okay,
gunsling.
yeah, don't get me wrong. What Jane Daniels and the Commanders and what Dan Quinn and the Commanders have done this year is tremendous. But they're going against the Buccaneers, which have been in the playoffs. They're going against a quarterback that has playoff experience. I'm going with Bucks.
Playoff experience means so much, doesn't it? Yeah,
It
yeah. How'd
can.
that work out with Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers going against the Packers? How well did that go against with Dak Prescott and all the playoff experience the Cowboys have to the youngest team to ever make the playoffs in 45 years?
Fair enough, but I mean,
It almost didn't help Kyle Shanahan against the Packers either. Again, the playoff experience means nothing to me. It's how you end up playing the game that day.
I think that I'm going to pick the Commanders because I think that they're hot right now and they're feeling their oats.
You know who
And
the biggest?
I
Oh, go
think
ahead.
I think that I don't think that is as I know you hate the word momentum, right? But I think that the Commanders are bringing a better form of play in. I think they're playing better coming in than the yeah.
They
Anyway.
have the biggest downfall is the Tampa Bay. You know who that is? Oddballs. Yeah, how good did he do with the Jets? Great experience.
Well,
Hey,
Jets!
Dan Quinn has good
They
experience
can
with the
barely
Falcons.
have a quarterback. They think you can do it with a good head coach.
you know,
Who was the head coach of the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl? Okay, thank you very much.
I still think Bowl got a bad rep
Thank you.
in New York just because the team never gave him what he needed to win.
Right.
They never gave him a
They
team
never
he could
really
use to
gave
win.
him what he needed to win. He just fell into somebody named Tom Brady.
Who, Todd Bowles?
When Bruce Arians left.
Oh yeah.
So the next game after that is the Vikings and the Rams. Oh, and by the way, Carl also picked the Buccaneers. But Tampa Bay roots going with Jay, and I
Yeah.
think Bucks can win. I wanted to do something different too because like me and Carl were doing a lot of the same teams.
Yeah. Jay, tell us your thoughts in the comments.
Oh, he's gonna pick Buccaneers.
Who, Jay? No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about in general. There's more than just the Buccaneers game.
Vikings and the Rams. Me and Carl both picked the Vikings. I like how Sam Darnold's doing it, and he is not playing right now to win a Super Bowl. He's
Right.
playing to win a contract. He has 1 year with the Vikings. He's playing for his future. So he has more to prove than the Rams.
Yeah.
Also, the Rams can be inconsistent. Can Puka Nacua, Cooper Cup, and them stay healthy during the game?
Hey, they've got
Yes.
Super Bowl experience.
They do. And you know what, though? This Rams team that's fully healthy and hitting on all cylinders is a team you don't want to face.
Yeah.
But again,
See,
wildfires
I
in the
picked
back
the
of their
Rams.
mind.
That's because of the go against you guys, just because of Sam Darnold went against the biggest game of his career against the Lions to fight for the division, the top seed, and he, quite frankly, shit the fucking bed.
Okay, but the Rams defense is not the Lions defense.
No, it's not.
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Does Sam Darnold play defense? So the Vikings defense really let him down.
Fair enough.
And is the Rams defensive coordinator up for all these other jobs and offensive coordinator? That's why the Lions won. Those guys are fighting for head coaching jobs. And people, they're tired of talking of how bad the Lions defense is because they don't have people. And they play lights out to show, look at my scheme works because he's fighting for a head coaching job.
I see a photo of Aaron Gunn just chilling on the bed like this.
But another thing,
Well, at the game, I'm like,
another thing
whatever, dude.
that entered my mind for this is Where's their mind going to be? They lost their home field advantage. They're in Arizona because of the fires. Is their mind going to be on the game or back at home at the fires if it's not completely contained?
Yeah, I was going to say it just depends on the status of the fires at the time.
Now, if the fires are dying down and they got it controlled, they can at least focus on the game.
Right.
They lost their home field advantage.
Yeah, but I think
that might screw with their head.
They lost home field advantage mainly because of air quality, not because of being threatened by the fires.
Right, but where they live
don't
and
want
their
people
families live
choking
out
near the
smoke.
fires.
Yeah.
too.
Running up and down a
Right.
field and having an oxygen tank.
I'm not talking about
Right,
that. I'm talking
but-
about their families.
No,
could be
I know what
affected by
you're.
the
I know where you're
fires.
coming from.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm
Just saying, there's a lot.
But they had to
it.
do that because, I mean, the hockey game got postponed. The
Yeah.
Kings hockey game got postponed. They're not that close to the fires probably either, but
I don't know where that.
I don't know where they play. I think they play
where that
Staples.
Coliseum's at, so.
Pittsburgh scored.
Oh, yeah, you did it.
Yeah,
You know-
participation trophy.
Yeah, you did it. So you remember when my daughter was playing basketball last week and the team scored like 2
Yeah,
points? They lost
yeah.
50-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It reminded
No,
me
it's
of that
50-1 because that one girl threw a
Fif-
field goal.
51-2. Right?
No, it's 50
Oh, it's
to
50-1.
A free throw.
Free
They had
throw.
1 point. You know what that reminded me of? The little Giants when they got a yard. It's like, yeah, we got a yard. We did it. And the
Yeah.
little Giants like, that's what it reminded me of. That's what Pittsburgh's doing now. Yeah, we scored.
So
We did
this
not get shut out.
Fifth
It's like
grade
the last
girls
scene of
just-
the Bunch where they
so
scored
this is a
run.
tough game
We
for
did
me.
not get
I just
shut
I,
out.
I don't have a good feeling about either one of these two teams
I
personally.
don't think any of those two teams are going to make it far because,
No.
again, the Rams haven't been consistent enough. But with Puka Nacua and Cooper Cup, we've seen it. They could put up some numbers.
Yeah.
But can they stay healthy, right?
But what did
can that
Minnesota?
defense do? Minnesota
Well,
shit the bed against the Lions.
yeah, but
I don't know
it's
who
a
their-
divisional foe.
Who was their first?
They-
Did
They're
they lose the Lions twice?
yeah, but they're
Who was the other loss to?
their schedule should have been very similar because they had the same because they're in the same division. So they should have played the same division in the AFC.
But they play the third best NFC teams.
Right. So, I mean, neither one of them really had huge competition this year when it comes to outside of division. So I don't know who the Rams had. Obviously, I'm not.
Lions and Rams.
What?
So they lost to the Rams. The Vikings lost to the Rams.
And Lions twice.
Oh,
So they already lost to the Rams.
Ooh, that
Again.
changes things a little bit.
But I still think the Vikings come out hard. Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. And here's
Yeah.
I gotta take after you talk about this about where somebody could go next because they need a veteran quarterback to help with JJ McCarthy until it's his team, and he's gonna be following another legend's footsteps.
Yeah, I saw that conspiracy theory on Facebook.
All right.
I think
so
I think you might know where
I'm
I'm with that
going
one.
to go with the Rams on this
Rams?
one. I think I'm going to go with the Rams.
So that person's Aaron Rodgers, by the way.
Jesus.
Aaron Rodgers could have Justin Jefferson. Look what it did to Sam Darnold. Now look at another quarterback that did horrible with the Jets and went to the Vikings and ended on a great note for his career. Brett
Favre.
Favre. He could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Go back against the Packers, have a great career because he could. But Sam Darnold's not the problem. But again, if they don't want to pay Sam Darnold, because they don't need a long-term quarterback, they
Right.
got JJ
Become the-
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Easily, if you become the Vikings quarterback, you easily become, I think, the fifth quarterback. You beat all 32 NFL teams.
Yeah. Hasn't he already done that? No, he didn't play the Packers this
He
year.
didn't
Never
play the
mind.
Packers this year.
No, like he never played the Packers this year. So he could do that because it's a short-term solution. Only a couple more years left, maybe,
Right.
until McCarthy's ready.
Right.
Because you're not going to give Sam Darnold another one-year deal. You're not going to franchise tag him because it's going to be JJ's team. You drafted high for him. You're going to make the team.
McCarthy came from Alabama?
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
But he's
He
going
was
to go.
the 11th pick, and Bo Nix was a 12th.
Gotcha. He's the one who took Michigan to the national
Yeah,
championship
and he
game.
got hurt before the season started, right?
Right.
So
Right,
he's
in practice.
in
It was a
practice.
joint practice, and he tore his
He's
ACL.
he's gonna take over the team eventually. So maybe put Aaron Rodgers until he's ready.
Yeah.
Or this is the scenario, right?
Sure.
And Sam Darnold can go to any of these teams that need a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not gonna go back to the Jets, but they could go after him, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to the Jets if I was him. You had a shitty career there,
Las Vegas.
Vegas. But the thing is, what teams are gonna offer him a contract that are as good as the Vikings? These
Very.
teams need to reevaluate. Okay, yeah, he's on the Vikings, but look what he did on the Jets. our team's just as good as the Jets was when he was on there. Like the Raiders are not going to be a team
Right.
that you're going to get protection from.
But
Just
the
also of them Facebook kind of ticked me off with Derek Carr saying he won't take a pay cut because he did something good this year. Like, dude, you put like dog water.
so the Jets have not brought in a rookie quarterback for Aaron Rodgers to mentor, and that's what I think that's their biggest downfall there. They
Get one
should have
this year. They got a good enough pick.
right, but at the same time, if what you're saying is true, they're not gonna have Aaron Rodgers there to teach this kid, right? Because that's why Jordan Love, in my opinion, right? That's why Jordan Love is so good.
But they just never do anything that makes sense.
Well, most teams don't. Most teams only do things to make their fans pay money to put their butts in the seats.
I think Sam Darnold might end up in New York next year,
Yeah,
but not with the
people
Jets.
Need to take a page out of Packers playbook
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to quarterback development.
But why
Yes.
don't they?
Yes.
Because
they're idiots.
they don't have quarterbacks right there. And then when they get into the draft, they don't draft a quarterback in the first round or second round
Right.
to get mentored because, like, we got other needs.
I don't
The
think you need.
Packers, every year, they don't go after free agents. They draft what they need
Yeah.
or best available and fill that position. So when it's time, that's why this year's Packer team is the second youngest playoff team in the playoffs in the last 45 years, only behind the only other
They're
team is last year's
themselves
Packers
last year.
team.
Yeah.
Because they keep drafting and just reloading young guys.
Right. And that's the problem across the NFL is that they always take these they
Go get
take
big
these
name
high level
free agents.
quarterbacks and they throw them in and their kids aren't ready. They don't understand the speed or the pace of the NFL. They don't understand
But
the
this year
size of the
changed it,
playbook.
I think some of these quarterbacks came out. Bo Nix learned quick.
Agreed, but I
Hey,
think
Bo
you've got
Nix-
Caleb
bad
Williams
hits,
played
Bo-
decent at the end of the year.
Bo Nix's start was a little bumpy.
sure.
Caleb Williams was
Again.
bumpy, but he played good. Jaden Daniels.
Okay, well, what did Jordan Love do when he came in? When he finally was able to start playing for the Packers, he came in and won immediately.
Right.
He really did, right?
No, I'm
Because
not
he had
sa-
that
I'm
time
saying,
behind.
I'm saying you still should do that because before this year, right? This year's an outlier.
Yeah.
Before this year, they throw these kids in, Sam Darnold,
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, and all them.
I'm still pissed at what the Texans
And they're
did
crap,
to
right? Josh Allen, when he first started playing, wasn't the
Texans
greatest.
into
Carr.
David Carr.
Yeah.
They when Josh
that was
Allen
a
wasn't playing
bad
great.
situation. Like he was a good quarterback. He was just drafted in a bad situation.
He was an amazing quarterback that now has a defensive line PTSD and will never be what he never meet his
he was sacked a record-breaking 83 times his rookie year.
which makes you gun shy for
Oh,
the
yeah.
defense. It
Yeah, I know. You're looking at me like I don't know this. You mentioned it every week on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
but to me, I think that's
You got a hard on for him getting sacked, huh?
that is one of the
That was
biggest.
just one of the weirdest records.
I think it's one of the biggest crimes against a player of any player in the last probably 30
He's
years.
being drafted to an expansion team.
Well, drafted an expansion team and them not doing anything to take care of him. It's like, all right, bro, here you go. Enjoy the fight. Go fight these lions.
And we'll see if the Bears do the same thing for Caleb Williams. They need to get off his line for him.
Yeah.
Here's the note. Besides this year, right? How many quarterbacks get thrown in and then fail immediately? A lot. Sam
Most.
Darnold, right? Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen even sucked at the beginning, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
It
'Cause they're-
took a while. You had outliers. Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith, right?
Right.
Joe Burrow came in, was doing pretty good, decent, whatever. But look at Mitch Trubisky.
Yep.
Look at Jamarcus Russell. Like
Yep.
they take these quarterbacks. This year's an outlier because
Yeah.
Caleb Williams got better at the end of the year.
Jamarcus
You had Jaden
Russell's
Daniels.
case is unique. He did not care. He didn't.
Well, I'm not
care.
saying that. I'm just saying, like, look at that because they knew he was going to start. Johnny Manziel, like, they knew they were going to start right away.
Right.
So they stopped caring. They
gave
can't
him
handle the
blank
pressure. They can't handle
tape
the new stuff.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, watch film." They said the next day, "Hey,
You
did you
act
watch?"
like no one does that. Kyler Murray had a clause in his contract to watch film because he doesn't. He admitted he doesn't.
Yeah. He wants
And
to play video
he
games.
bitched about having a contract where he had to watch 4 hours of film a week.
Yeah. A week.
4 hours.
That's not even an hour a
That's
day.
a damn day. That's for most quarterbacks because he wants to play Call of Duty.
Yeah. Because he's
And they had to take that out of the contract. People goes,
Dude,
well, that's horrible. You can't make. That's your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Your job is to watch film and be a fucking NFL quarterback.
Pay me $25 million. I'll watch the damn film and I'll have a breakdown on every defense in the league.
Yep.
I'll watch 10 hours a day.
Yep.
If I'm not practicing, I'd be watching film. I'll sleep for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's what, like, I understand Jamarcus is different because they tried to catch him in the act. But they knew Murray wasn't watching it because he admits it.
Yeah.
He never admitted it. He just said, "Oh yeah, I watched film," and
Right,
even
no,
though
I'm
they
saying,
flat
they
out
tried
knew
to catch
they
him.
gave him a blank tape.
They try to catch him because he said he's watching it. But I'm saying you're acting like that's not a thing. Johnny Manziel mentioned he didn't watch
Right.
it. So
right.
it's
I
not
think
just
I think we've
Jamarcus
got
Russell.
a good big board for next week.
Quarterbacks that suck.
No,
No.
we'll refine it, but I think we've got a good start for a
Bust.
big board for next year or next week.
But no,
It's-
I think this year though, if you look at the quarterbacks that were taken, a lot of them learned throughout the season or played good most of the season.
Yeah.
Bo Nix
Mhm.
learned, right? Yeah, bumpy, but learned, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You had Penix, who when he came in played okay
Yeah.
for the Falcons. You had Jaden Daniels playing good all
Mhm.
season most of the time. Like Caleb Williams
Yeah, but-
starting getting better at the end and clicking with
Yeah.
his receivers.
Yeah, but these are the school of hard knocks, and it's not a good way to learn.
Well,
You've got a
that's,
bunch
no,
of. Here's the
it's-
thing: you've got a bunch of guys who
You
are.
think next year Shador Sanders is going to get put in right away and,
Oh,
and be
please do.
phenomenal?
No, please put him in right away because I don't want to see that kid do
You
anything
think
good.
Dylan Gabriel's going to be phenomenal if he gets
Shador
put in right away?
yeah, no, Shador got lucky with his schedule and then gets trounced when he plays the first good team.
don't worry. Him and his daddy will do great in Las
Oh my
Vegas.
god.
Yeah, Dion's looking for a head coach of the NFL.
You know
So-
who else the Raiders reached out to?
Bill Belichick.
Bill
Bill Belichick. Tom Brady wanted to call him that favor.
Yep.
His buyout's only $10 million in June.
It's $1
Tom
million.
Brady's going to grab that from his couch, okay?
Yeah.
He grabbed that from under his fucking mattress. Here you
So,
go.
It's probably leftovers from his divorce with Giselle.
Probably.
I don't think Bill Belichick is going to go to the Raiders. I think he's
No,
going to
he's
stay
gonna
with
stay in
UAE.
North Carolina.
I think
He's not going to
to
quit on the paper napkin again.
No, I think his thing is he doesn't want to be a great NFL coach. I think he just want to be a great head coach, not just in the NFL, but in
Well,
college. also.
Again, what is he doing in UNC that he did in the Patriots? He makes the decisions. He makes who comes here. He makes the roster choices.
Yes.
He does. That's what he did in New England.
Yeah.
And he wants to do that again. So you think any other team is going to give that to him?
Yeah.
Probably not. So
For
you go
20
to-
plus years, he was not just the head coach; he was also the GM.
and that's what he's going to be in college.
Essentially, I mean, that's what a college head coach does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So-
that's what he's going to be.
Yeah.
So he gets full control.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We got any picks left? Or we
That-
picked
that
them
was
all?
the picks.
All
You
right.
got a good cold take.
I do have a good cold take. All right. So the cold take for today is what event of 2024 had the most influence on your life today?
Ooh,
I think
I
we
have
all
it.
know mine.
It's probably the same as mine.
Maybe.
Similar. Well, I don't know.
Guess what?
Maybe
I
not.
know mine.
You go first,
You go first.
Jake.
Mine was you guys know this was when I had to commit myself and get my mental health ready. Mental health a lot better than what it was, and that actually shaped me. I'm a lot better than what I was before.
That's when you went sober too.
Yeah, that's when I finally got sober after just choosing the bottle and
How many days?
almost 180, a little bit over 180, I
Oh,
think.
I randomly guessed the other day 180 with somebody. Damn, was I on the nose?
Thought you were in the 70s.
It was like 180. We had about 6 months and about a couple days.
Congrats, man. That's
Uh,
awesome.
Tough.
it's-
That's tough.
It just shaped me. It's just something I needed to do, and it's been a long journey since I've been trying to fix my mental health, and it shaped me. I'm on a right path that I am, and I'm proud of it.
What? You want to go next? or-
Nope, you're next.
All right. So the one that molded me happened January 4th of 2024. It's the day I flew to Texas.
Yeah.
The day my life changed. The day before, January 3rd, you could technically say too, right? It's like kind of like a 2-day thing. Is the day I packed my bags and left the toxic marriage and everything, and decided enough was enough. Got on the plane January 4th, and then I'm a better person now than I
Yep.
was then, and that molded me. Because if I didn't make that choice on the 3rd to leave that day, or even the 2nd to leave that day and have that plane ticket ready and everything, I never would have left.
Yep.
That was literally the moment where it's like, you do it now or you're not going to do it.
Yep, it's the bravest thing you've done. So
I mean, I'd
mine,
be a police officer in Greensboro right now, but besides that,
Yeah.
probably shot by now. Gun violence.
Yeah, my day was I forgot to say day was July 6th, 2024.
Yep. Mine was May 3rd, 2024, the day your Mrs. Google was diagnosed with cancer.
That was that would have been mine, but
Yeah, you had a little more going on back then.
leaving
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
completely bad for you
Yep.
was is a big moment.
Yep. So, but going through that showed me what, strength in the face of adversity.
You could almost have two.
You could.
The day
Mhm.
that you beat, well,
Yeah.
not beat, but
Yeah.
cancer free kind of.
Mhm.
You're not totally in remission and all that stuff
Yeah.
yet, but they're there.
Yep.
So this is Google, on the mend and everything. So
Yep.
you pretty have much two in the
Yeah.
same year. A
Yep.
bad low and a good high.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
His was bad low, good high.
yep.
I mean,
Mine was just a high.
Well, no, I don't, yours was a low too,
It was
right?
at a low
also like
point,
that
but
is
Right.
it was a high of my
Right.
that also showed me is that you can't just. You also need help in fighting your battles. You can't just do it alone. It's
Yep.
okay to ask for help.
Yes, it
And I
is.
think in all of our cases, we all had to ask for help and receive help.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned when I had to commit myself. It is okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for a hand.
Yep, we're not on this life journey alone.
And you've been doing a great job at that. I can admit to that. Whenever you have a problem, I know I get a call. Whether you've already talked to somebody else,
Yeah.
you still call me for my opinion.
Yep.
On top of already talking to other people.
Mhm.
So that's you have made a long way for that. And
Yep.
you're more talkative on this podcast now.
Yep. All right, that's enough heavy stuff. Just so y'all know, we got a few more weeks till Super Bowl. Us morons are gonna have a pretty kicking shindig on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. We're gonna smoke what is that?
8-pound prime rib.
Yeah.
8-pound prime ribs already seasoned.
Yep.
And-
oh wow,
and-
already seasoned? Jesus, man. That thing's-
And aren't we having turkey?
Yeah, if you guys want it.
we're
I
gonna have
didn't know. I
turkey
thought you
too?
were doing both because
Yeah,
you have
you guys want it. Yeah, it's just still sitting in my
and then you just bring over the leftovers and you freeze them and you have plenty of food
Yeah.
and
Yep.
deli meats for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll probably have a either a pre or post Super Bowl kind of quick
Maybe we
chit
should
chat.
do like a little pre chit chat in here or something
Yep.
like that. Maybe
Yep.
before the party.
Maybe break
and
a
then,
phone out and do like a promo or
and then
something.
some sides will come on. We'll have
Yep.
sides, potato salad. No one puts raisins in their potato salad because
Well,
I hate raisins.
I was gonna say like don't. I said to you, don't put your raisins in the.
I hate
salad.
potato
It's flat.
salads or raisins. So good.
Don't put them in my oatmeal cookies either.
I hate raisins.
So
I don't want to make my
Anyways.
cheesy potatoes.
hey everyone, thank you for listening in tonight. We really appreciate everybody's support. We again, our thoughts and prayers and our hearts go out to the folks in California who are going through the massive wildfires. We're also thinking about our friends out east who are dealing with who are digging out of a pretty hefty snowstorm as well.
Yeah, Pigeon
So-
Forge, Tennessee got hit pretty
Yeah,
hard.
they got like 8 to 12
Nashville.
inches. I mean, a lot of craziness. So if you're
It's
in one of
warmer in
those areas-
Alaska than it is here.
oh my god, yeah, that was a nuts. It was 36 degrees there and it was 9 degrees here. That was fun. But
Don't worry, we got a low of 0 coming up. Yeah, 0 doesn't even register.
yeah, it's gonna be cold.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah. So hey, give us a shout out. We love to answer. We love to talk with you guys. Give us a shout on our Facebook page. Comment on this video. We will answer every comment. We will answer everything you talk about on
Yep.
Facebook. If you guys are personal friends with one of these two morons here, text them and tell them hi. Let them know how you're doing. And if you got questions, let them know. If you got any comments, please give us a shout. Let us know what you think of our picks. If you think we suck and we're terrible pickers, let us know. If you
I
think
know
we're
I am.
think we're great pickers, hey man, you're actually doing pretty good. I mean, you're well over 500, so it's not like
Now, finally.
right. I mean,
Finally.
He started going chalk with the rest of us, so that way you get over 500 for a
yeah,
little
well,
bit.
you know, and
He's like,
it's-
maybe I should follow their lead until
yeah, and I think
maybe one bad game out there. So hopefully
Yeah.
that hits and theirs don't.
I
is
didn't follow you guys leave for the Ohio State Texas game. I went.
Yeah.
Ohio
No,
State,
I'm saying, but
and
a
you
lot of the
guys
ones.
thought I was nuts for picking Notre Dame.
No, we
We're
didn't.
saying
is Carl
First
back
time.
next week?
Yeah,
against
Carl will
Georgia.
be back next.
Carl will
week.
be back next
Against
week.
Georgia. Again, we're going by what they see though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl will be back next week. Next week, same time,
Yep.
same people.
You
We'll
wanna
go
see
over a
my
little bit
ugly mug?
more of the NFL.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit college football because it'll be a couple days before the national championship, which is on the 20th.
Yep.
We'll have our picks. We already know our picks. I told us we'll also we have that game
Yeah.
next week.
Mhm.
But I think most of us is picking the same team. You're not,
Yeah.
but
That's
me
fine.
and Carl are probably picking the same team. I don't know. I might change. I'm gonna think of more stuff because it's gonna be a great matchup. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be a great again. With Notre Dame won, I said to Carl, Ohio State, Texas, whoever wins, it's gonna be a great national
Mhm.
championship. And even if Notre Dame lost to Penn State, it would have been a great national championship with them. I think you literally had the best 4 teams.
Yeah.
Because Carson Beck was injured. He's going to Miami now. He's transferring to Miami.
Which is a
There's
shocker.
a theory. There was proven. Every transfer goes to a school that their girlfriend plays at. Case in point, Carson Beck's girlfriend plays basketball at Miami.
No way.
Oh yeah, she does.
So what about DK then? His girlfriend plays at SMU.
I think.
Tyler Van Dyke or whatever from
That's-
Wisconsin that got hurt
Like
in the
this
middle
dude-
season is transferring to
I
SMU.
saw this TikTok. This dude analyzing all the
He's
transfers.
actually a good quarterback.
And
Is he?
found all the background. And he's like, the one theory, common point is all the girlfriends paid for the schools that you transferred to.
I want to look in.
That's a wild one we're going to have to look into. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful week.
Well, the girls can't transfer there.
Have a wonderful week, everyone. We appreciate
like
you.
and subscribe our videos,
Yep.
please.
Like and
to our
subscribe.
Adios.
page.
Yep. And subscribe to our or to their Facebook page. I'm just a wandering salesman here.
3 Morons Pod on Facebook, just like it is for YouTube.
Yep.
You guys have a wonderful week.
Yep. We appreciate all the support. Love you guys.
Sayonara.
Click twice.